a 3070 right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the newest edition of Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope you're all doing well today. We have a very special edition of Tinfoil Tuesday today, seeing as tomorrow is the inauguration and today is the final full day of the Trump presidency. Can we get a round of applause in the chat for the fact that this is the final day of the Trump presidency? At least the final full day. Fuck. Are we gonna watch his farewell address? Probably. So today I thought we'd do something a little different. It's not gonna be your typical Tinfoil Tuesday with a whole bunch of different stuff. So I don't know how bingo is going to go, though we can still, you know, give it a shot. Either way, someone will get gifted a sub. We're gonna do all QAnon today because obviously, QAnon people have, through Trump's presidency, been expecting him to stop the deep state and to somehow bring a great awakening in a storm. And none of that's happened. So, we're gonna take a look at how they're coping. We're gonna take a look at all their justifications. We're gonna look at videos where they're like, no, tomorrow's the day. It's the last possible second it could happen, so we're gonna talk about how that they think that's gonna happen. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. We're on a hype train, by the way, thank you. Remember, as we get levels of the hype train, I will don more tinfoil garb to protect myself. So we have a ton of BitChute videos that we're going to watch, all about QAnon, because of course QAnon is much harder to find on YouTube these days, though it does exist and we have some YouTube videos to talk about too. We have Alex Jones saying QAnon is stupid and that he hates QAnon. That'll be fun to take a look at. So overall, it's just gonna be a very silly Q-filled day. We're gonna make fun of sort of the conspiracy that keeps on giving. The Qult will never die. I guarantee it. I'm sure they'll move the goalposts yet again after tomorrow comes and goes and nothing happens. But today we're going to revel in the delusion. So it'll be a good time. Let me get to these. Phoenix Vengeance, thank you for subscribing at tier 1 with an 8-month streak. Says, Tinfoil Tuesday always makes my day. Let's go. Let me see. That XY girl with 200 bits for the final full day. Thank you. Kirthan with 100 bits. Celebratory bits before I return to studying. Chesabel, thank you for subscribing with a 4-month streak. AshyBoof74 with 20 bits. I'll have to pop in and out of stream because I have class and work now. Your streams always brighten my day. Thank you. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Hannah, I love you. Squee, thank you. Fryzerburn with 20 bits. So Hannah, we can mark off QAnon now. Yeah, you might as well. That's gonna be a theme throughout all the videos. So yes, that's basically a free space today. Pierre Squire with 100 bits. Thanks for helping me crack my egg. Gender euphoria is amazing, isn't it? It's great. Good for you. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Hey Hannah, how does it feel knowing that as of tomorrow you'll never again have to answer I forgot who won the election? I have a feeling I'm still gonna have to bring that up. These people are never gonna give up. The Profane Priestess says, thank you for streaming so consistently, Hannah. I've been fighting a phobic episode, so I've had a lot of intrusive thoughts over the last few days. You've really helped. I'm sorry you've been having a rough time, but I am glad that we are able to sort of be here and support if you need anything. Tucker White 94, hey Hannah, may I be a mod? I promise to responsibly abuse my authority. Okay, basically my rule, and this goes for Daddy Sume too, just because I didn't, like, talk to Daddy Sume about it. That's fine. You can ban people if they're, like, transphobic, or if they're throwing around racial slurs, or being super chuddy. That's basically my bar. Other than that, I'm pretty open about, you know, people doing what they do. That's fine. It's fine if people disagree with me. That's obviously allowed. Just, you know, don't ban people unless they're being, like, transphobic and stuff. Let me see. How do I make you a mod again? Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. Oopsie, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, and if I get rickrolled by anyone, Daddy Sume is allowed to rickroll me once per year, but if anyone else rickrolls me, that's a timeout. We're at 94% of the level 1 hype train with a minute left. Come on, people, we gotta at least get to level 1. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to add you as a mod easily. How did I do it the other day to Daddy Sume? I'll figure it out in a little bit, okay? How about that? Just because I can't figure it out immediately. And I gotta get to some of these bit messages. Tellurian Catrin of 20-bit, super stoked that we're doing Q stuff today. Super glad for your stream. Thank you. Who won the election? Pretend I pulled up a map. It's Joe Biden.
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Chesabel with 100 bits. Thank you. Mod username. Okay. Thank you. KR Goss, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. Comrade Devin with 20 bits says,
hi. There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Chesabel with 100 bits says, train. And then Freiserburn says, mod username again. So I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
There's nothing funny about
just copy paste their name. Sorry.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
I've been having
capitalism.
issues with my mouse. Ashyboo74 with 20 bits says, choo choo. Okay, so we got a level 1 and level 2 taken care of, so I gotta get 2 pieces of tinfoil garb so far. We have 3.5 minutes left to get to level 3. Okay, let me get some stuff. Oh no! Sonic Screwdriver stuff fell. Dragonfly, thanks for the 80 bits. Here's number 1. What do you guys think today? Should I do the tinfoil horns, or should I do the, hat? The other tinfoil hat? We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll, okay? Okay, would you like me to wear the horns or the hat? There's a poll, so go vote in the poll. Andrew Batella with 20 bits. Oh, we're doing Q today? You should wear your horns. Too bad they're not shaman horns, though. Smithical Creature, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. Comrade Devin with 20 bits. Did you hear that Trump didn't pay Rudy? Shocker. It's almost like you shouldn't do things for a guy who's known for stiffing, like, contractors and stuff. It's crazy. You misread the announcement on Twitter and thought it was the last Tinfoil Tuesday and had a small panic attack? I wondered it as I was typing it. I'm like, I feel like someone's gonna misread this and think it's the last one, but you know. How do we know there's no poll fraud? Don't worry. Dominion voting systems put together this poll for us, and it's fine. It's good, okay? Did you guys see they're suing, Dominion, whatever company owns Dominion, is suing, like, Sidney Powell and the MyPillow guy? That's beautiful. Why is my mic coming through
There's
so
nothing
loud? Am
funny
I like
about the
too
tools of
loud? Am I
capitalism.
blown out to you guys? Because it feels like my mic's like I'm blowing it out a little bit. Lil Wayne was pardoned. Sure.
There's nothing funny about the tools
Did I see
of
your last bit
capitalism.
message? Let me go take a look. I might have missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, the mod username thing. I did see that. Thank you. KR Goss with 1,000 bits. I'll give you bits because I don't know when I'll be back. My Reiki-loving, crystal-healing mother-in-law is coming out next week on a one-way ticket. Save me. Oh, no. I wish you all of the luck in the world. Looks like the Horns are gonna win. Satyr Dreams, thank you for following. Earnfist, thank you for the 50 bits. Dr. Xanadu with 100 bits. Fun fact, there are 70,200 seconds until Trump is no longer president. Nice. We're at 9% of the level 5 hype train with 3 minutes left. I believe it. I believe we can do it. Let me get the horns ready. Ah, yes. The conspiracy horns. How's that look? Get the gloves because we're at least level 4. Jezebel, thanks for 100 bits. 12%. Not bad. Not bad. I'm looking quite official, I think. Pence isn't going to Trump's farewell. Good. Fuck him. The last episode of Some More News was a Trump retrospective, and it was wild. I bet. I love Some More News. Do you think idiots will actually try and pull something tomorrow? Someone might. They won't succeed, though. Jezebel, thanks for 100 bits. A Soch Garbage with 100 bits. I know tinfoil works with Tuesday, but isn't it aluminum foil? Glad to be here, Hannah. How dare you? Technically, not. This isn't tin either. This is it's reflective material. It's a little bit of a cheat. I don't know if you know how things work, but it's close enough. Daddy Sume has some sort of tweet link. Take a break from... Who is this? Lona Wells took a break from porn during COVID and worked at Taco Bell to earn money for her family, but she was fired after a customer complained about finding her adult work online, even though she disclosed it to the man. That's stupid. It's so annoying to me that basically everyone in society consumes like the output of sex workers in the form of pornography of one form or another, but then there's still this stigma around it. Like, who cares? People are jackasses. We're a minute left and we're only at 33% of level 5. Jubinator, thank you for subscribing with Prime with a 5-month streak. Says, I took tomorrow to celebrate. I'm glad we actually did it. Yeah, good for you. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. I think we'll all have a afternoon. We'll be having a pretty good day, I'd say. Crystal Cat with 200 bits. Last day of Trump presidency. Yes. Somnific Owl, thank you for gifting a sub. A Soch Garbage with 100 bits. Yay! A Soch Garbage with 100 bits says, well, I can't beat that. Technically correct by your definition is the best kind of correct. Comrade Devin with 20 bits. Some chick in Pennsylvania got arrested for stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop and trying to sell it to Russia. What did she think she was? I don't even understand how you think to yourself, I'm a good guy. I'm gonna sell a government worker's laptop to a foreign government. Jeffrey Petrone, saving the hype train by gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Appreciate it. Dingo Subman with 40 bits. Thank you very much. And we did it. That's the level 5 hype train. Ayo. Ooh-woo, as the furries would say. Just under the wire. So yeah, we're all tinfoiled up for the thing. I still gotta, I have this like tinfoiled, the thing that you actually hit. That was probably really loud in the mic, I'm sorry. But I haven't done this yet. I'm considering, I was gonna just wrap this in tinfoil, but for one thing, I'm out of tinfoil. And secondly, it might be better if I like taped off this gold part so it stays gold, but then I, like, you know that metallic spray paint? I could kind of metallic spray paint the rest of this so it's a silver gavel. I don't know.
There's nothing
Just a
funny
thought.
about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume with 20 bits canceled. Hannah is canceled. That's our word. Our word, you dare? Sorry.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Where's the goggles? You're right. I did forget the goggles. Sorry. Let me grab them. I forgot the goggles.
There's nothing funny about the tools
I'm going
of
to take this
capitalism.
off for a sec to put the goggles on. We're all canceled and must never be spoken of again? Sure. Fix my bangs as best as possible. Ugh. I gotta take these off while I do it. You guys can see my 7 head. We'll figure this out. We got this. We got this. Yeah, sure. There and there. Hair kind of in the middle of the... Okay. Okay. That'll do. I'd say that'll do. Okay. Probably good.
There's
You can
nothing
still see
funny
the
about
goggles.
The tools of capitalism.
Okay. Cool. Bearded Wonder 491, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I think that was the only thing. Okay. We got the goggles, we got the ears, we got the gloves, we got the jacket, we got the gavel. I'd say we're good. I gotta loosen these goggles at some point. Hold on, I gotta get... There we go. There we go. I look very official and not silly at all. So thank you. I am very reflective. I'm like a dom, but for someone who's really obsessed with shiny objects. Please subscribe to my OnlyFans so you can see my tinfoil underwear. It's a joke. Maybe. Okay. Alright. Daddy Sume says bird dom, magpie dom, Hannah's into feather play. God. The Otaku X says I got Karate Kid underwear in the mail today. So excited. Like adult-sized Karate Kid underwear? They sell that? Okay. You can't say those things around Daddy Sume. He'll explode. That's his business. Wing the Ultimate Nug says, I'll pay $60 to see a single pic temporarily. Harry K5 with 20 bits. May I suggest white-clothed Maleficent? We need tinfoil wings. I know. I have to have the wings adjusted because they cut off my circulation right here. And that's like, there's like arteries right here. It's real bad. So I gotta get the wings adjusted. I do have them, but I gotta get the straps like fixed. Okay. So I guess let's get into it, shall we? Like I said, the inauguration is tomorrow. QAnon people, I guess I should preface in case you're not familiar with QAnon. I think most people probably are at this point, but in case you're not, I'll give you a little rundown. QAnon is a conspiracy theory that started in around 2017, I believe, was the first post. QAnon was a poster in the 4chan board. 4chan being an internet forum that's pretty famous for being sort of a all-around garbage place. They have sort of, at this point at least, a lot of white nationalists, a lot of shit posters, just a lot of questionable content, and they're known for a lack of moderation. Basically, anything goes. And they'll do the "we're ironically racist, but really they're just actually racist" thing. So that's how that works. One sec. So anyway, this individual who called themselves QAnon, or was deemed QAnon because people on 4chan are known as Anons, they were called QAnon because they claimed to have a Q-level security clearance in the government. They basically were claiming that they are someone high up in the government that knows a bunch of secret, top-secret information that they were leaking to 4chan. This is stupid for a number of reasons, not the least of which if there was someone who was consistently going online for 3 years, posting top-secret governmental information, you bet your ass the Department of Defense would find them. Anyway, so, the claims of QAnon are things along the lines of, Donald Trump isn't really an idiot, he's playing 4D chess. He's pretending to be stupid because he needs to in order to stop the Cabal. The Cabal being a secret evil organization of Satanist child molesters that operates within the upper echelons of the government, Hollywood, and the wealthy elite in general. Again, this is basically a way of them to explain Donald Trump not as the evil narcissistic sack of shit he is, but instead pretend that he is some secret righteous fighter for justice. It also takes the complex realities of the world around us where tons of different people are working towards different goals, and that complicates things and creates issues and instead makes things a black and white good and evil thing, right? You have the good guys of Donald Trump and his people who are trying to drain the swamp or whatever thing that they're saying they're doing, trying to get rid of these Satanists, and then you have the Satanists, lots of air quotes, and then you have the Satanists who are just evil and causing all the world's problems. One of the other things about the QAnon thing is they think the Satanists kidnap children for their ritual sacrifices where they assault children, and then harvest adrenochrome from their brains. Adrenochrome being a result of adrenaline in your brain. When you produce adrenaline and use it, adrenochrome is a real life, what's the word I'm thinking of? Result of that chemical reaction. There's a better word for that, but I don't remember. This is stupid. They think they use this chemical for recreational drugs that can also, make them live forever. It's a bunch of nonsense, basically. Made even funnier. Byproduct. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you. So they think that this byproduct is used as a recreational drug and also used to keep them alive forever. This is silly, not the least of which because adrenochrome can be synthesized in any lab easily. So you wouldn't even need to do that if adrenochrome did those things, which it doesn't, by the way. So anyway, that's QAnon, more or less. They've consistently had dates where QAnon claims, the mass arrests of the Cabal members, including, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, basically all Democrats that people on the right don't like. Here are the days that they're going to get arrested, and it never happens. Like, they claimed Hillary Clinton was arrested back in 2017, and of course she's not. She's still out and about doing rich people stuff. They recently claimed that the Pope was arrested. You get it. A lot of bullshit. So they've been moving goalposts for years, and things have really kicked off since the election, considering their belief hinges on, and it's a very cult-like belief. Their belief hinges on the idea that Trump is a savior that is supposed to fix everything in the world via mass arrests and authoritarian action. Of course, once he lost the election, it becomes clear to any person who is in touch with reality, oh, no, none of that stuff is true, he just lost an election and he really is stupid and a narcissist. They can't do that, though, so they keep having to move the goalposts. They continue to do so through the lawsuits, the attempts to get to the Supreme Court, January 6th when they tried to, and there were a lot of QAnon people at the Capitol riot insurrection attempt. That Buffalo Head guy, that guy's a QAnon guy. He's in the QAnon community. So these people continually pushed the dates back and back to when things are going to happen, and now tomorrow is the inauguration. They've moved the goalposts now, and this is going to depend upon the Q person. They've moved the goalposts now to thinking that the troops that have been sent to Washington, D.C., of course, in reality, because of the insurrection attempt on the 6th, however, they believe that these troops are secretly under the command of Donald Trump and his loyalists, and that they are going to, like, arrest all the Democrats tomorrow. Yeah. They're still on this shit, even though they literally have less than 24 hours to be proven wrong on this, but here we are. So today we're going to go over a bunch of different QAnon channels, go over what they're saying in the lead up to tomorrow, and yeah, we're going to laugh at them, basically. That's it. So, it's going to be a smattering of different stuff. I don't know what the pacing on this is going to be. I have no idea if it's going to be entertaining, I guess, but we're going to try our best. Also, Trump had a farewell address, and the QAnons aren't taking that well, because if he does a farewell address, then why would he do a farewell address if he's planning on taking over tomorrow? Let's take a look. Time. Oh, this one I think is just like, they'll make music videos, more or less. They make supercuts and edits of videos that are just meant to hype them up a lot, because it's a very emotionally driven thing. It's basically a cult that these people are in. So they'll do stuff like this. Check it out.
For excuses is over. Now is the time for strength. If you want peace, you must stand strong at all times. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. Today, you end one chapter, but you are about to begin the greatest adventure of your life.
See, now, I don't like the person who uploaded this video to BitChute, because the fact that they're having Trump go on camera and be like, and obviously he did say this, but they're putting it in a very particular context and saying, now is the time for action, I think implying trying to rile people up to do another action similar to the 6th. QAnon people are very, very for this kind of thing. Now, there are some who are like, trust the plan, Donald Trump has this, we shouldn't go do anything. But of course, like with any cult, there are going to be people who are going to try and manufacture the end, right? They're going to sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, well, Q isn't working out, maybe we're supposed to be the storm.
January 20th will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. If the righteous many do not confront the wicked few, then evil will triumph. You came by the tens of millions to become part of a historic movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before. Now we are calling for a great reawakening. When decent people and nations become bystanders to history, the forces of destruction only gather power and strength. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. Do not underestimate us and do not try us. This would be a fatal miscalculation. Is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. There should be no fear. We are protected. We will be protected by God.
Give QAnon and evangelicals over.
I know that each of you will be a warrior for the truth, will be a warrior for our country and for your family. I know that each of you will do what is right, not what is the easy way.
You got this as an ad on YouTube? Yikes.
Will be
Video too loud, sorry.
Of devotion to defeat the enemies of humanity. This is a very different administration than the United States has had in the past.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
So this is the kind of propaganda that they're partaking in day after day after day. And again, this one says very specifically, January 20th, 2021, right? It's a call to action to people who are believers in QAnon to do something on Inauguration Day. And interestingly, take a look at the map that they have here. Like, they have Michigan as a red state, even though Michigan voted for Biden this year, and typically in presidential elections goes blue. It's part of this fantasy that they think, and we'll see this in some of the other QAnon videos, they believe that the election was fraudulent, and they believe that in actuality Donald Trump won all these swing states that in this map are red, even though that's not the reality of the situation. So again, reinforcing this idea that there's some sort of fraud going on.
We forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Messed up stuff. So let's take a look at some other stuff. This person says Biden to step down, Trump to be sworn in January 20th. No, that's not what's going to happen, actually, but let's see why they think that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no! It's Alex Jones. Alex Jones is banned from Twitch. I don't think I'm allowed to show Alex Jones. Is Alex Jones allowed to be shown on Twitch for commentary purposes or no? Someone let me know. We'll watch something else in the meantime.
You got to check out the little squirrels over here. Give them nuts, and
Alex isn't banned. Maybe I'm thinking of his YouTube ban.
one of them is real cool. He'll actually come and take the nut out of my fingers.
This is a QAnon video, by the way. Even though it starts with him talking about squirrels, the squirrels become a metaphor.
You see another one running by. I throw him some peanuts, you know. And this one little guy, he likes to take the nut right from my hand. He's got courage. And that's what we all need right now, courage. And most of them don't have courage. Most of them run off. But the point is that they have a natural instinct of fear. And like these little squirrels who are instinctively fearful, we the people have become instinctively fearful of the truth.
This is oh boy. This is a reference to the Bill Gates is like an evil person who's going to try and kill billions of people for population control, anti-vax conspiracy. The thing about QAnon is that it's a big tent conspiracy. A big tent conspiracy is a type of conspiracy under which a ton of people with different conspiratorial beliefs can all come together on this one issue. So QAnon, very intentionally, is meant to appeal to not only people who like Donald Trump, but to appeal to people who are distrustful of government institutions in general. People who think UFOs exist. People who think time travel exists. There are elements of this in the QAnon lore. The belief that JFK Jr. faked his own death and is perhaps using time travel to help Donald Trump. The idea that Bill Gates is one of these cabal members and is using vaccines as population control. Which, by the way, you can put on your bingo cards. Population control is a motive, because he's mentioning it. So you have anti-vax people in here. People who believe in chemtrails end up in this same group, where they're like, oh, the cabal is part of, you know. It gives people who have conspiracy theories, whether they're, you know, whatever kind, it gives them a scapegoat for those conspiracies. You think the earth is secretly flat? Oh, the cabal is in on it, and they're the ones who are perpetuating the lie. Oh, you believe that lizard people control the government? Well, maybe they're part of the cabal. It just, whatever your conspiratorial beliefs are, they can fit inside QAnon. So that's why it's become such a big thing so quickly, because they've taken people who are already susceptible to conspiracy theories and put them all under one group and allowed them to feed off of each other's belief systems until the point that it's metastasized into what it is today, which is a very serious problem. Is it gonna play? God, BitChute's player is just absolute garbage. Come on. I might have to refresh this page. BitChute wants to be a competitor to YouTube, and it can't even get their videos to play, so that's great. You guys are nailing it. Good job, BitChute. Jesus Christ. Come on. Play the video. It's literally your only job. Oh, is it gonna? Okay, okay. Looks like it's maybe gonna go this time. How about if I jump ahead? Can I jump ahead? Great.
Of the truth. Reality. And just like I could serve these little squirrels nuts and get their trust and get them to eat out of my hand, so could I poison them. And so could I enslave and then slaughter them.
Can we not enslave and slaughter squirrels even in your metaphor? That'd be great. What are you gonna use the squirrel slaves for? That's not cool. No. Can we not?
Because they become too trusting, too dependent. Now sometimes that dependence was caused by force, by...
Let me see what this says. This is a tweet, it looks like, from the World Health Organization that says, oh boy, preliminarily, oh god, it's hard to read under that thing. Found no clear evidence of human-to-human identified.
Taking away things that make people independent.
The Chinese Health Organization.
Let's look back to the Bolshevik Revolution.
Okay.
And the Cultural Revolution. Because all the seeds of our destruction have been sown in that ground. In less than 2 days.
Wait, you think that the Bolshevik Revolution is somehow connected to Joe Biden becoming the president? What?
Our world is going to change one way or the other. Because, of course, the communists, Stalin and Mao combined killed about 80 million people, 70 million people. It is an evil, genocidal ideology.
Can we not? Can we not? That'd be great. Hold on. Malarxism.
To come out public.
Sorry, I gotta skip around to make sure there's not, like, brutality going on.
A way out. And a way to restore our republic instead of giving us directly into the New World Order's control, where we'll take all our wealth first.
What wealth does this QAnon guy have? A computer from 2007 that he edits these shitty videos on?
They harvest organs of dissidents and old people.
Yeah. As it turns out, the Chinese government is not good. That's fine. It's completely fair to criticize the Chinese totalitarian government. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Perform abortions on demand. They have death mobiles. People are executed for defending their rights or speaking against the government. That's what's coming to America. The writing is on the wall.
It's not.
The cancel culture.
What are things that I can put in a list with each other? Let's see. Concentration camps, roving organ vans, murder, and cancel culture. These are all equivalent things, and if anyone tries to say otherwise, then we're gonna have to cancel you, I guess. I'm not sure what they plan on doing.
Is in full swing.
Cancel culture does not exist. What we have now, and it's a good thing, is consequence culture. We have a culture now where if you do a bad thing and say bad things, there are consequences for your actions. If you don't like people not buying your product or engaging with you as a person in public, then don't be shitty. Then don't be shitty. Imagine if I punched someone on the street and, like, a cop came and arrested me and I was like, this is cancel culture. No, it's the consequences of my actions. Jesus Christ.
American Cultural Revolution. And this is the fairness and equality that they talk about, which is really just totalitarian socialism.
I haven't had a video buffer this poorly since like 2007. What is BitChute doing?
World War II, when the NSA was the National Security Act established the CIA, and this whole thing started. It was always happening, but the same forces then are the forces now.
Is that Hunter Biden?
They've expanded their sphere of influence and their sphere
I've
of
seen
power.
his ding dong.
So we don't have to go through who these people are or what they're doing. The question is, who's going to win the war? Are we at war with China? It looks that way.
No,
There's
we're not
tons of,
actually. I'd rather keep it that
potential
way.
For this, the president has put a lot of executive orders out in the last week targeting China. We are at a defensive stand for Wednesday. But if I were you, I would be prepared for the worst and pray for the best. And it's not like I'm delusional about it. You see, the problem is these lunatics on the left, when they cry, and it just shows you how brainwashed they are. And it's just the same thing with these leaders that.
Oh my God, BitChute, what are you doing? This video isn't even in HD. Garbage.
Die. Like, if you ever watched, like, when, like, the leader of North Korea, when the grandfather died and the father died, oh, it's like they're ripping their souls out. I mean, look at these people. They are brainwashed.
Yeah, they act more like Trump supporters than anyone who supports Biden. Like, if Biden died tomorrow, I'd be like, that's a bummer for him and his family. Okay, now Kamala Harris is president. I'd move on, especially because I'm not really a Joe Biden supporter. I just really hate Trump and think he's a fascist, but, you know.
Under an oppressive regime, they're acting like their mother or their father passed away or their child. It's insanity. Stockholm Syndrome. Love your abuser.
It's also probably at least, and again, I don't know. I don't know anything about North Korea. I would imagine at least some of it's performative because culturally it's expected for them to do this. Otherwise, they might get in trouble, and you don't want to be in trouble with the North Korean government because they'll murder you.
These are dangerous times. But pray to God, Jesus, if you're a Christian.
I haven't had a video buffer like this ever. This is not my internet, guys. I'm streaming right now. You guys know I stream all the time. My internet's fine.
Because if you think you're the higher power, you're the enemy. Because that's who these people are. They believe that through intelligence and through basically stock and eugenics, by creating the perfect society, that we will all evolve to become our own gods and transform past humanity into transhumanism.
What? Who thinks that? What?
So that's what you're going to get if Joe Biden takes the oath of office. That's all I'm going to say. Get ready. Look out for more. I'll be on Facebook until I get all my material back, and that'll be the end of it. All right. At this point, I'm not joining any other things. There's 50 million of them. We don't know what's going to happen. I got to wait till the dust settles. The things that I have out now, I'm going to protect them, especially the website. The website, they can't do anything about it. It's my own website. So stay there at howardneiman.com. God bless you all. Until next time.
Oh boy, this guy's gonna have a bad Wednesday. Let's go over the bingo card real quick. We have QAnon. Where is QAnon claimed as the source? There we go. And then we had forced sterilization, population control as a motive. And that's what we got so far, I believe. I think I need to adjust the goggles because these are starting to give me a headache, so I think I need to loosen the band on them and then I'll be good. Sorry. Just give me 1 sec. Oh, this is gonna mess up my hair again. I got that song from Groundhog's Day stuck in my head. You know, when he goes to Gobbler's Knob.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I think it's called the Pennsylvania Polka. Stuck in my head. The Pennsylvania Polka. In Scranton. And na. These are already as loose as they go, I think, hopefully. Hopefully that'll do a little bit better. Deep State. Let's see if they say Deep State. Well, no, they're kind of implying it pretty hardcore, I guess. Yeah, that feels a little bit better in terms of, like, tightness. Better. Better. There we go. That feels more comfortable. Why no shallow state? Why no shallow state? Who are these chuds? Is that my Jerry Seinfeld? I used to be able to do a Jerry Seinfeld. That's pretty bad now, though. Who are these chuds? What's the deal with airline food? We could maybe do a call for an uprising. He's not a QAnon person, but I think he does mention QAnon in here somewhere. Age-restricted video based on community guidelines? Good. I know I reported this video for pushing, like, anti-vax stuff, so... I kind of, we'll do this in a little bit, though. I kind of want to keep on the QAnon thing for now. This is fun. Alex Jones went on a little rant about how much he hates QAnon.
Lies is what I'm saying.
You keep interrupting me.
Because you're lying. Because you're full of shit. That's why. Because every goddamn thing out of you people's mouths doesn't come true. And it's always, oh, there's energy, and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. You said it was all over. They were all going to Gitmo. Now, oh, he's part of a larger thing of Q. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one, and I know what you are now, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks and pumpkin popsums and everything. Oh, God. Sorry. Bye-bye, Q. I can't talk to you anymore. Jesus, Lord help me. Oh.
Yeah. People were sending that to me over Twitter, and I understand why. They're like, oh, wow, even Alex Jones hates QAnon. Let me explain, though. Alex Jones doesn't hate QAnon. This is a double thing, right? Glasses on glasses. That's probably a bit much. Alex Jones doesn't hate QAnon because he thinks it's wrong. Although he probably thinks it's wrong. Alex Jones hates QAnon because he's never found a way to successfully make money off of it. Right? Yeah. Other people in the chat are even saying QAnon is his competition, and that's true. He doesn't want competition. Just saying. January 19th, 2021.
What just want to read something to you all that got my attention, and put this together in your own mind. It's very telling to me. We already know school systems are basically indoctrination camps.
Indoctrinating my kid with how to do algebra? Ugh!
Controlled by the deep state. We understand that already.
Oh, deep state on the card. Maybe someone will win bingo today.
So here's some things that came in that I just found to be very telling. A friend sent this to me regarding, I guess they're out of California, and all the teachers got this message. And it says urgent, Inauguration Day restricted. So they're restricting the viewing of Inauguration Day. Prohibit viewing of a live broadcast of the inauguration on Wednesday.
They're probably concerned that some sort of terroristic attack is going to happen, and they don't want to traumatize kids by showing it to them if anything happens. After the fact, I'm sure they're fine with it. I'd imagine, like all of us, they're concerned that some right-wing wackadoo is going to try and hurt someone or set off a bomb or something. Reasonable. Completely reasonable. I don't know if, for instance, I'll give you an example. Jake, who's actual Jake here on Twitch, one of my close friends, he was in school when the Challenger exploded, the Challenger space shuttle, and they watched that live, right? So a lot of kids all over the country saw the space shuttle go into space live and saw it break apart, and it was a national tragedy and very sad for all the astronauts and the teacher who was aboard and all their families, and it was just a very sad event. Now, I don't know, since then, do they show kids, like, rocket launches live? I feel like that might have taught people a lesson that maybe you shouldn't do that, you know? And even 9/11. I know some classes did watch 9/11 live. Mine didn't. Let me be clear. When 9/11 happened in my school, class got called off for the day, though we were still in school. They had us all go to the gym. I was at a Christian school at the time, so we had a very small student body. Basically, kids, I think from 5th grade and up, or 6th grade and up, were allowed to sit in the gym and watch it on, the TV in there, because it's news. And then the younger kids, I was part of the younger kids at the time, because in 2001, I would have been 7 years old, something like that. We didn't. They just had us go to the classroom, and, we didn't have to do work for the day, probably because the teachers were, traumatized and couldn't, focus, understandably. So they just had us go do other stuff. Either way, I understand why schools would want to not have live viewings of this in case something were to happen. Do I think something's going to happen? I certainly hope not, but there's the potential, because there's a lot of crazy people out there who have been radicalized by stuff like QAnon and might want to take some sort of drastic terroristic action. It's terrible, but it's potentially true.
Please do not broadcast Wednesday on any form of media, radio, computer, etc. The 59th inaugural ceremony. Do not broadcast the 59th inaugural ceremonies to your class. This is due to the risk of violence that faces our nation during the ceremonies and the tense and stressful images of high security. Flashback to last week's DC riot and unsettling journalists' commentaries. Be careful as well not to shout out or emotionally respond in your class to any emergency announcement. You may become aware of. I mean, this is crazy.
Again, they're warning because they're afraid a right-winger like this guy who's making this video will do some sort of terroristic action. That's their concern.
We must maintain a secure and stable environment for our children. You are encouraged to show a vetted replay of the inauguration at a later time during the week. Please prepare your classes for this momentous occasion, as we are sure you have planned to do. Students should know who is being sworn in as our national leaders and become familiar with their faces. Review what a president does, the role of vice president, term of office, and more, the branches of government, and review the inauguration ceremony itself. They're basically telling teachers what to tell the children. Something's happening.
Hold on, when was the Challenger explosion? People are saying Jake's too young or something? Challenger explosion. Yeah, 86. No, he would have been really, really young. Was there a different one? I know he saw some sort of tragedy like that. Was there a different shuttle disaster that happened? Because I know he told a story similar about that once. It might have been Columbia. I apologize. Maybe it was the Columbia. Sorry.
This doesn't make no sense. They're actually telling them to prohibit the live broadcast.
It was probably the Columbia.
Inauguration. Please do not broadcast.
Jake is in his early 30s.
Wednesday on any
It's like 6 years older than me.
Computer, etc. And then they're reaffirming. They're telling them to reaffirm to the children who our leaders are and become familiar with their faces. This is insanity.
It's insanity to teach kids who the president is? Did you go to school? I knew who the president was. I wrote a paper on a paper, you know, like a first grade paper, in that it's like a paragraph or however long those papers are. But I wrote a little thing about Bill Clinton, and I remember very specifically, I got in trouble because in the paper, I just called him Bill. And my teacher was like, no, you don't refer to the president as just their first name. You could refer to them as Clinton or President Clinton, but you don't just call him Bill. I remember that very specifically, and I don't remember why.
But you are encouraged to show a vetted replay of the inauguration at a later time. What are they scared of? What are they scared of? What's going on here? This is bananas. I cannot believe we're living in this time. Then, add that to, Pentagon has deployed hundreds of active duty troops for inauguration security, including service members with expertise in handling chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological explosives. And
yes, again, they're worried about QAnon wingnuts like yourself and your fans doing something crazy.
Medical teams skilled in trauma response.
Again, I hate to bring this meme back because I used it yesterday, but it's just this again. Huh, I wonder who that's for. You! You all did this! This is your fault!
Now ask yourself, there was a small fire today out by the Capitol. Was that a beta test? Was that a test? They used the intercom systems, didn't they? What are they... Something... It doesn't add up. None of this adds up. What I think is they caught wind of probably Trump's next move, and...
Trump's next move is to go to his golf resort in Florida, probably snort a bunch of amphetamines, and eat McDonald's for the next month and a half in a depression nap. He's just gonna be in bed surrounded by KFC buckets and cold medicine.
They're trying to limit the audience. They're gonna try to, and then they're basically telling this guy, ignore the emergency broadcast system. Be careful as well not to shout out or emotionally respond in your class to any emergency announcement. Let me read that again. Be careful as well not to shout out or emotionally respond in your class to any emergency announcement you become aware of.
Again, that'd be pretty standard procedure as far as I understand for, like, a teacher. Like, even if, and I understand, you know, something like 9/11 or the Challenger or the Columbia happens, and you're a human being, you're going to want to have an emotional reaction to that. You're going to be shocked at the loss of life or whatever thing has just happened, and you're going to want to be like, oh my god, and freak out. But you are the adult in the room, and there are children around you, and you need to project a sense of control so as not to panic the children. Now, I don't have kids. I never plan on having kids. I don't interact with kids. I don't have any, like, brothers or sisters that have kids, so I'm not like an aunt. I have no interaction with kids. And even I can intuitively understand if something horrifying is happening like that on TV or in the news, you want to maintain the illusion of control for the sake of the children. Now, you can privately, like, excuse yourself and, like, have a little panic attack or cry or whatever, but you don't want to scare those children any more than they're already going to be in the situation. They need to believe that somebody is in control, even if it's the illusion of control. It matters to kids. It does. And that's maybe dishonest, I don't know, but I understand the need for that construct for kids in these sort of situations.
They're telling them to ignore the emergency broadcast. They're telling them to ignore. That's illegal.
They just said not to ignore it. They said to not emotionally respond.
That's fucking illegal. This is insanity. Reading this all right here. It's a mass email that went out to teachers, I'm guessing. Dear teachers. Wow. I can't say the person's name. What is it, 30,000 troops in D.C., cameras on every post? Yeah, they're not preparing for anything. The Pentagon has deployed hundreds of active duty troops for inauguration and security, including service members with expertise in handling chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological explosives, and medical teams skilled in trauma response. Man, oh man. I don't know. Guys, I don't know what's going to happen. I know who we're at war with. I know that much.
You are at war with reality. You can't win that fight. Let it go.
But the fact that they want to tell teachers to ignore...
Again, that's not even what it said. Learn to read, please.
Any kind of emergency what the hell? You all put that together yourself. I'll leave that right here.
Oh, boy. Okay, let me get to some of these bit messages before we continue. Trip and Stick, thank you for following. Bearded Wonder 491, thank you for subscribing. Daddy Sume, Bird Dom, Magpie Dom, Hannah is... Oh, wait, no, I already read that one. KR Goss with 20 bits, send them to me. 0M80 with 100 bits, Just G. The Creeping Darkness with 20 bits. Someone on 4chan did a Rule 63 art of Q Shaman. Of course they did. 4chan's gonna 4chan. Harry K5 with 20 bits. I call Q the stupid conspiracy theory of everything because it's a combination of all the conservative conspiracy theories about Democrats and Hollywood. Yeah, apt description. 0M80 with 100 bits just sent in the paperwork to get the vaccine on Monday. Congratulations. I hope that goes quickly for you. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Hannah, does this count for satanic child abuse, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, and Illuminati? No, not yet. They haven't mentioned any of those things explicitly or implicitly. Harry K5 with 20 bits. Q is also the modern-day version of blood libel. Yeah, the adrenochrome stuff is. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Chemical byproduct. CA Corner with 40 bits. Bits for the shiny gloves. Logarth with 20 bits. OG, yeah, this is Trump's army thing was disgusting. The Creeping Darkness, don't you mean a call for an uprising? Logarth the 20 bits. How does the old saying go? When fascism comes to America, it'll be wrapped in a flag and carrying a cross. Ian Anderson, pretty. Thank you for following. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. I've seen small hentai sites with better video players. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. Brutality on BitChute. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Is he hung Hannah in regard to Hunter Biden? Yes. Voice of ID, thank you for following. Historically Chic, 796, thank you for following. Probably Lannister, thank you for resubscribing with a 3-month streak. Pyromancer 56, thank you for resubscribing. That XY Girl with 20 bits. I take care to indoctrinate all my students with the skills of scientific literacy. You monster! Spacetime Pop, thanks for following. The Creeping Darkness of 25 bits. My school day stopped and we just watched the whole Towers thing. Yeah, a lot of people did. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 20 bits. Why does showing children's live matter? They probably don't care. I didn't at that age. I understand why they don't want to in case it got bad. Logarth with 20 bits. Know of the inauguration of the new president of the most powerful, richest, best country in the world. 25,000 strong security measures were tripped by nearby homeless people under a bridge burning trash to keep warm. Towing 24. This guy sounds like Seth Rogen if he was really into meth instead of weed. That's good. That's good. For the real jokes, ignore me and just read the chat. Chat's funnier than me, typically. When did you see Hunter Biden's wangus? It's Googleable. Meth Rogan, yes. Cleanse for later. Alrighty.
There's no...
Thank you. Oh, God. I don't like Bill Maher. So no. Not of him. Here's a video that says the power returning back to the people.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself.
I'm gonna get to the part where you actually... There we go.
So I say this in every one of my videos. The eyes are useless if the mind is blind. And I say that because we all see or feel something's not right.
You know he's a patriot because he has an American flag phone case. Are you even an American if you don't have that? That's why I'm a citizen of Kraft Mac and Cheese, because I have a mac and cheese pop socket, okay? Your phone case is your nationality.
Something's wrong. We know it. We can sense it. Right or left, it does not matter. You know something doesn't feel right. You know...
I'm more confused by this thing. So is this a keychain or is this just a hangy thing? No, this is like hanging from his rear view mirror. It's a monkey's paw knot and an anchor. Okay, was he in the Navy or something?
We've felt this way for a long time. You know, people would be like, yeah, the government's corrupt, but they do this, and this is just how
monkey
it is.
Fist knot. Sorry, not monkey paw.
But when does that become, that's not how it is? When do we say enough is enough? When do we just stop going along with it? How tired do we have to be to constantly see in our government, and it's not just the Democrats, it's the right too, it's all of it, the whole thing.
They started turning against right-wingers when they stopped being behind Trump all the time. A lot of them still are most of the time, and they're still defending him. But, like, the fact that they haven't been on board with the coup attempt, yeah, they're not fans of that. The fact that a lot of Republicans, not all, but many have accepted Joe Biden is going to be the president, they're not a fan of that, etc., etc.
You know, they don't do anything for us. Can anybody name the last time anybody really did anything for us? I mean, again, this is not going to make a lot of people happy, but Trump is the first president in our lifetimes, in any of our lifetimes, that has actually stuck by and did every single thing he promised.
What? Okay, the wall isn't built. I think they got something like 12 or 14 miles done, which is nothing in the span of how long the contiguous border of the U.S. and Mexico is. It's one of the longest, I think, contiguous borders in the world. Let's see. He didn't do that, and Mexico certainly didn't pay for it. Hillary Clinton isn't in jail. He didn't drain the swamp. All of you still think... You just talked about how corrupt you think politics are. He ended up hurting the economy due to how he handled COVID. 400,000 Americans are dead due to COVID. Yeah, it's been a big shitstorm. Seems like it's gone really, really poorly. Just saying.
And more. I know a lot of people on the left, it's not going to be a popular subject. But
yeah,
that's the
didn't
truth.
replace Obamacare either. Good point. I know we talked about that. So what did Trump do? He helped lower taxes for the very wealthy, leading to some of the largest stock buybacks in American history. He decimated EPA regulations and regulations in general. Like I said, so far killed 400,000 Americans with his inaction during COVID. Yeah, just a big old stinky turd of a first term. What a shame.
You know, I said this in a couple of my other videos. If you would have told any of us that, you know, we'd be locked down, masks, schools would be all shut down, stores, again, nobody would have believed it. Nobody would have believed it.
Sure, but we have a global pandemic going on and none of you are taking it seriously still, so guess that's what you get.
They would have labeled you a crazy person. But here we are, and now let's think about that for a second. We have adapted.
That's true. He did get rid of the pandemic team a year before COVID because Obama put it together.
To it. We have rolled with it. We have went with whatever they say. When did we stop listening to ourselves and start putting all our faith in the government? Too many people have stopped using their brains and put everything into what is being told to them on the TV.
The only people I know that have 100% faith in the government are people who think Donald Trump is the government. People who are like QAnon people who think Donald Trump is the best ever and is perfect and he's done nothing wrong. I don't know anyone on the left who thinks the government is perfect and is always working towards the betterment of its citizens. I'm a leftist. I know a lot of people who are on the left and recognize people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have done a shit job at combating Republicans and working for actual working class people for years and years and years, right? Nonetheless, we try and move things in a progressive direction as we can as we move forward, and that's good. The only people I see who are like, oh, the government's great, are people who think that Donald Trump basically is the government by respect of being the president. And they're like, yay, Trump is amazing and has never done anything wrong. He's our God Emperor Daddy, yay! It's childish. It's absolutely childish.
You know, that news is one of the corrupt, and I think they are the first most criminal, treasonous people in the United States. All our mainstream media, they are treasonous what they have done. I've said this for a long time. It's not against right or left. It's not against Democrat or Republican. It's not against you or me. We are not the enemies. We all have a common goal. And we have forgot about that. We have lost that. We have you know, this divide. They were genius. Let's just be honest. They were genius in dividing us. Again, divided we fall, but together we can all conquer. Any government is fearful of...
Can we not conquer? That'd be good. I don't really feel like being imperialist today.
The united public. You get your citizens to unite. No government can handle that. And that's what scares them more than anything. That's why every single night on the news, it's about race, religion, something.
Or we have a variety of race-based issues in the United States that should be addressed. Probably that one.
They have made it part of it. Have you noticed that our media, every single night, is some sort of... it's something to divide us. It's so dividing. Every single night on the media. That's treasonous. That is not working for the people's interest. And then you got
I guess Reagan probably shouldn't have gotten rid of the fairness doctrine then. Good job, Saint Reagan. Saving the Union again by fucking it up for decades.
A lot of people in government, again, not working in the benefit of the American people. You have them lying.
Reagan saw a shining city on a hill and he thought, I can fuck that up.
To us. You have them, telling us what we want to hear. Both sides do it. And then when it comes down to it, they tell us to close our businesses. They tell us to stay at home, do the right thing. Now, while they're all catching paychecks and getting bonuses and whatever else they're getting, and we're all out here struggling, and then they give us a relief package, and they don't even give us $2,000. They give us $600. Are you...
That's the fault of Republicans. Did you know that? Did you know that Mitch McConnell is the one whose fault that is? Mitch McConnell? And then Donald Trump even came out and was like, I want it to be $2,000. And then the Democrats in the House passed a thing to bump it up to $2,000. And then, again, Mitch McConnell was like, nah, not doing it.
You're kidding me. They never have our interests. Go back and look at any of the laws that they've passed. Anything that made our lives just a little bit better.
Any law? Seatbelt laws. Helmet laws. Minimum wage. Child labor laws. Equal rights laws, like making sure that if you're LGBT or non-white, you can't be discriminated against because of these things. Access to health care. Obamacare didn't go far enough, but it was a step in the right direction. Yeah, that's about it.
People need to wake up. Again, look at any Democrat-controlled...
Yeah, health inspections, USDA, the FDA, the EPA, Department of Natural Resources.
City. Anyone across the United States. Can you name one democratically controlled city, just one, that is thriving, has no homeless, has no drugs?
Can you name me a single city on the planet with no homeless and no drugs? If you're talking about success, the most successful cities in America are cities in blue states that are blue cities, right? New York is the financial capital of the United States. LA is the entertainment capital of the United States. These are blue areas that make the most money for the country. Red states, which also are dealing with homelessness and drug problems, they have opioid issues, are that, and also they're financially insolvent. They're being propped up by blue states' successful economies.
It's only Democrat-controlled cities. Why is that? Think about that. The Democrats, they've been doing this game a long time, and the guy you guys just wanted to vote in, he passed the Crime Bill Act. He is the one that wanted to lock up the predators.
Yeah, not good. He apologized for that. Again, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I think he's got a lot of fucking problems. But Donald Trump is worse than Joe Biden. I'm not going to sit here and defend Joe. Why would I? The crime bill stuff is ridiculous, and I don't like neolibs for stuff like that, particularly him and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and stuff. But the alternative is a literal narcissistic fascist. So you make the calls you gotta make to be pragmatic and try and move the country closer to where you want it to be.
Keep in mind, in the 80s, the Democrats came up with the welfare state. That was to take the father out of the home. So what they do, they offered these women, you can have welfare for your child and every child you have, but there cannot be any man in this home. They made a law. You could not have a man in that home to get welfare.
The idea is to give support to single mothers. It's not to incentivize people to be single mothers. It's to help single mothers that already exist. Do you think single parents didn't exist before that time?
In the beginning. So what these women do? They kicked out the men. So then the men, and then by the way, they stripped all the jobs from these neighborhoods. Stripped all the jobs. Added liquor stores and bars, and so now...
I didn't realize Democrats in Congress had the power to put liquor stores in specific neighborhoods. Kinda sounds like a capitalism thing to me, but what do I know?
You have all these, they're not going to go work at McDonald's. It's belittling. So there's no good jobs. So what do they do?
You know what it would make it less belittling? Making a living wage.
They go and sell drugs. And then what does the Democrat do? They pass a crime, the crime bill.
Okay, let's be clear. The war on drugs started before the crime bill, and the war on drugs was a Republican invention. Neo-lib Democrats have a hand in this shit too. I'm not saying that their hands are clean, but let's put blame where it belongs, to both Reagan and Nixon and the Democrats like Joe Biden and Bill Clinton. He's only mentioning Democrats.
Locking them up. So they create the problem. They create another solution, giving them welfare, create a new problem, men aren't in the home, create a new solution, lock them up. Strip them of their jobs, strip them of their dignity, and now you're locking them up. That's the same man that just got voted in. And the thing that I can't even get over is the fact that this guy's been in office for 47 years. And yet he couldn't get it done. He has all of the answers now. All of the answers.
Who said he has all of the answers? Also, do you think that a single senator has the same power as the president, the head of the entire executive branch of the government? That's incredibly stupid. I don't think Joe Biden ever campaigned on, I have all the answers. I think he campaigned on, I will bring experts in and take their advice because I'm not a narcissist. So if we have a pandemic, just pulling a random example out of the air, I will bring in virologists and doctors and healthcare professionals and listen to their advice, as opposed to doing nothing. I think that's more what Biden campaigned on. Getting advice from experts in the various fields on whatever topic we're talking about, which is a reasonable thing to do when you're the leader of America.
I wouldn't tell you during the campaign, he didn't even campaign because he planned on rigging the election.
He campaigned. He had campaign events. The events were intentionally small because, again, global pandemic.
He knew he was going to rig, so he didn't even come out of his basement. But this guy's had the plan for...
I don't know where this basement meme came from, but chuds use it all the time. They'll very specifically say, Biden's in his basement. Is it because it's alliterative? Biden basement? Is it just like an earworm, so they start repeating it? I don't get it.
47 years? Why didn't he tell it to Obama? Why didn't anybody else find out about these plans for the last 47 years? But now he's got the plan. Again, we just kicked out the president that's winning Super Bowls. Remember what that UFC fighter said?
What the fuck does that mean? A president who's winning Super Bowls?
When you're winning Super Bowls, you don't kick out the coach.
Ah, I see. You think Donald Trump is incredibly effective and good at his job. You are mistaken. He's bad at his job. He has record low disapproval ratings, actually, on his last days in office. So I guess he's winning in that.
The government has been dividing us. People need to wake up, and this is what's coming right now. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to see it, but this has been needing to be happening.
When Biden does streaming events, it's in his basement. Gotcha. So he has like a basement area that he films stuff in. So actively doing campaign events online. You know, the medium that Trump effectively used to gain his following on places like Twitter. Hypocritical much?
The thing that frustrates me the most is You never had a choice in your candidate on the left. 2 elections now, they have stole your voice. They have stolen your voice.
I don't think that's true. Look, I'm a leftist. I voted for Bernie Sanders. I would like Bernie Sanders to win, though now he's getting to the point where it's not happening. He's too old. In the future, I will vote for similar candidates when they pop up, and I would prefer to continue to push the Democratic Party to the left, or if another party were to, like, emerge and somehow have a shot that was left of Democrats, I'd vote there. But we work with what we have. I don't think Bernie got screwed out of the election, at least not in 2020. In 2016, you could make arguments about the media promoting certain candidates over other candidates, and even in 2020 to an extent. But I also am a realist and a pragmatist that realizes that a lot of the voting population are old people, a lot of them are boomers, and the idea of socialism scares them. So Biden was popular with them. Bernie scared the shit out of them, and Bernie ended up losing. Bernie lost, and I can accept that because I live in reality. So, we ended up with Biden v. Trump, so I picked the better of the 2 options. The option that's the closest to where I want to get out of the 2 choices we had. A candidate for president is like a train or a bus. If you can't find one that's going to the destination you want to get to, you get on the one that gets you the closest. Okay? That's what Biden is. He's not a fascist. In fact, he has certain positions that he's adopted, at least for this campaign, because of the success of Bernie's campaign, like $15 minimum wage and stuff like that. These are issues that are good and we can make progress on, while we hopefully work on doing better next time and continuing to try and push the national conversation about economic issues to the left.
Voice. When Bernie would have won it, they stole it. And they said, nope, you get Kamala Harris. Because let's be real for a second. Joe Biden's not going to be the president very long if he gets in, which he's not. It is going to be Kamala. Kamala was so disliked. She is considered one of the most liberal Democrats in Washington.
There's nothing funny about the
She
tools
has
of
a
capitalism.
horrendous record. Don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. I did a video a little while back.
She voted over
on her,
90%
on all
of the same
she
as
locked
Bernie.
up. She charged people with murder that never committed murder, and she knew that they didn't commit murder, and she locked them up anyways. Go look at her record in California. It is disgusting. She is a dirty cop.
Yeah, I don't like that she was a prosecutor either. Not great. But, again, the other option was Donald Trump and Mike Pence. No thank you.
But the point is they are so corrupt, they are so dangerous, and hopefully Trump takes them all down. And I believe this week, when everybody wakes up, things are going to start happening. He's going to start declassifying everything that he should have done for a long time. And
so far he hasn't. Oh yeah, this was today. Why does he think that's going to happen now? Trump could have been doing it the past month.
I hope we get to see it. We live in the greatest country in the world. We truly do. And we are so close to losing it. And people will never even know. They'll never even know we came so close to losing it. Because they're so glued to the mainstream media that they can't see anything else. But you got to go back and ask yourself, why did every single party member hate him, left and right, and the media? And
because he's a shitty person. Trump? Why did everyone hate Trump? Because he's dog shit. Because he's a narcissist. Because he's rude. Because he's stupid. These are all evident to anyone with an IQ above 3 digits.
Hollywood, why did everybody across the board hate him?
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interests, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization. It's worked hard. This election will determine.
I don't feel the need to watch campaign ads for losing presidential candidates, so I'm gonna skip this.
People need to wake up. This is real. And after this starts going down, you need to start waking up, because here it is. I think we're going to start finding out a lot of stuff. We're going to find out a lot about the CIA.
I just realized he has a sticker under the brim of his hat, and it's going to bother me for the rest of this video.
CIA, they've been manipulating us through media, through everything we eat, drink, and watch. There, you think there's free press? There's not free press. There's a lot of topics they're not allowed to talk about.
Like what? What are you talking about? We absolutely have free press. Now, if you're talking about corporate media specifically telling people in their company not to cover certain things, that is a problem. And that's a problem of profit-based news organizations. That's a problem with profit motive interfering with the moral good. And I would agree that that's not good. But, like, you have the freedom of the press. You can go write about an issue if you have sources and you can do that. Yeah, go write that. Put it on the internet. On some independent media thing. That's perfectly fine.
And one of them, I think, is aliens.
God damn it. All right, mark aliens on your bingo card. God damn it. There it is. That's not one I expected to get today. So, good job, this guy.
People are going to say I sound like a crazy person, but they said that too when I was talking about New World Order and the Great Reset, and where are we at right now?
Not where any of those things are happening.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs.
I believe I looked this up once. It's basically like a UN or some other international cooperation resolution where they want to, like, reduce homelessness and increase financial stability and, stuff like that by 2030.
Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
I'm not so crazy after all.
Oh no, addressing poverty! The horror!
I've been saying this for a while now. The New World Order, Agenda 21, now Agenda 2030, it's all here right now. But again, people's minds are closed. They think their eyes are open and they're seeing everything, but they're not seeing everything. You're only seeing what they want to show you. And they did a real good job for 4 years leading you to believe Trump was this person. He was Putin's asset. I mean, the treasonous things they did, wake up. By even calling him a puppet of Russia, and he's Putin and he's an asset to the Kremlin. Do you understand how treasonous that was?
I don't think you understand the definition of treason. Treason involves, during wartime, selling out the country to a foreign government. What you're describing wouldn't be treasonous.
What they did. I mean, you had this Sunrise group that were they're planning a big coup, but they were working in different levels of the government, and they were actively trying to destroy him.
I have no idea what crazy thing that's a reference to.
The president of the United States, imagine that if that was your president, that everything they did.
Trump is the president.
That there were people,
at least until noon tomorrow,
constantly working against them, recording everything, finding any little hiccup.
If the president is committing crimes, I would hope someone's recording him and investigating him. That'd be great.
Taking phone calls out of context, being a whistleblower.
taking a phone call out of context by posting the entire hour-long phone call online, which we listened to on stream.
And blowing the whistle on something that wasn't even real. I mean, that's the reality of it. What they did for the last 4 years was treasonous.
Not supporting the political candidate I like is treason. The bar for treason is very low, I see.
What they did at the Capitol, that wasn't the right.
Markov, do we have false flag operation on the bingo card? Claiming that it wasn't right-wingers who did the thing on the 6th, that's definitely false flag. Where's false flag on here? There we go. Something is a false flag operation.
They took advantage of a good opportunity. That's what they did. They knew a bunch of Trump supporters were going to be there.
We don't have a chance yet on the bingo card.
Perfect time to don some Trump gear and go storm the Capitol and do everything they'd been doing all summer long. Did you see that during the summer, the right doing any of that stuff? Never.
What I did see was them doing it on the 6th. They tried to overthrow the government and kidnap senators and murder them.
It was all perpetrated by the left. Again, you know, and I don't fault a lot of people because...
Why is it traveling? The license plate emote? The traveling thing is in relation to when we do sovereign citizen videos, usually on Saturdays or Sundays. Sovereign citizens are people who believe the law doesn't apply to them, so they think they don't need driver's licenses and stuff. So when they get stopped by the cops, and the cops are like, you need a driver's license to drive, they'll say, I'm not driving, I'm traveling in my personal conveyance. They're driving, but they think if they say traveling, it doesn't count.
Again, they are fed this lies and this garbage, and there's so much of it, and when you've got that much around you, it's hard not to see anything else. But I think here in the next couple days, our whole world's going to change. Things are going to come out. Things are going to come out about the CIA, about some of these families, the sex trafficking.
This guy's going to be so disappointed when nothing like that happens.
Andrew Chrome. The technology.
You know what? I did, yeah. I said mac and cheese when we talked about the pop socket. So Hannah mentions cheese on the bingo card too. Good call.
Technologies that could revolutionize this world that they've had for 50 plus years, and they know it. They sat on it. They killed people to cover it up. The genocides this government has portrayed or has perpetrated on its own people, the genocides alone.
I mean, yeah, the genocides of, like, let's see, enslaved individuals during slavery in the United States, indigenous genocides, those are actual genocides, not, whatever you think a genocide is. I assume you think having less white people is somehow a genocide, which it isn't.
When you find out that the 9/11 was an inside job.
Oh, yikes.
The pandemic was a con job to begin with.
No, it's not. It's a very real disease. Please wear a mask and do social distancing and don't go out if you don't have to.
I mean, when you start seeing the stuff that comes out about that, some of these mayors and governors and stuff, and how they handle the corona, this COVID, I mean, sticking younger people that had COVID in retirement homes and like a wildfire, it spread through just killing. That's our government. Not only are they pitting us against one another, actively trying to destroy us against one another, constantly bringing up race.
Again, race comes up because race is a pertinent issue in the United States.
Constantly making the tensions high. But then they're doing stuff like that. Genocide. I mean, it's insanity to think that what they've been doing is anything but trying to serve their own needs. They haven't been trying to help us at all. Everybody knows that the government is corrupt. Everybody knows, they feel it, they know it, but then they just kind of give up. There's nothing I can do about it. But there is. If we all shut off the mainstream media, shut off the nightly news, because that's all garbage to begin with. Even Michael Moore, you know, he proved...
Is it 2003 already? We bringing up Michael Moore?
Back in Columbine. You know, it's the fear tactics of our media that's gotten to us, that's gotten us all hyped up and ready, and you don't need to be. Anyways, I'm going to attach a couple videos in here. I want you to all wake up because it's here. It's now. This is it. And here it comes. I mean, buckle up. This ride is just getting ready to get started. And Joe Biden will never be president.
We're going to check in on this guy, I think. Oh, by the way, next week we're going to cover some of these people again to see how they're reacting once Biden gets inaugurated. Next week won't be entirely QAnon, but we'll do a segment where we sort of take a look at, you know, how these people are doing after the fact. I'm very curious.
He will never be president, and he wasn't going to be anyways. Kamala Harris was destined to be president. I think Trump is going to expose all of that.
She might become president. Joe Biden's old. It wouldn't really matter either way.
All of that's going to be exposed. I still believe that Trump will be president. Of course, he's got to play it like he's leaving and all that stuff. Catch him off guard.
8D chess.
This is just getting started. And if it fails, and if it all fails, then they're going to cover the whole thing up, and China will be running this country. I mean, that alone is a treasonous. Just allowing China to influence our election, all our jobs to be shipped over. They're not working for us anymore, and everybody's got to wake up to that fact. Anyways, my name is Zach. Please like, share, subscribe, and share. Thanks.
Oh boy, this guy's not going to take tomorrow well, is he? Saving him to the conspiracy list. Yepperino. Okay, let's take a little bit of a break from the pro-QAnon stuff and get into someone who is actually anti-QAnon. Now, he's still a conspiracy theorist. Let me be clear about that. This is a call for an uprising. A call for an uprising is, how do I put this? A delusional individual who believes in stuff like cabals and Satanists ruling the government and stuff. However, he disavows QAnon. He thinks QAnon is a psyop and that it's like, what do they call that? Controlled opposition. He also is ban evading. His other channels got demonetized, so he made this channel, and it was originally called A Call for a Rainbow, and then he, once it got monetized, switched it over to A Call for an Uprising so he could do anti-vax stuff, and, you know, a bunch of nonsense. So let's see how he's doing. We'll do some bit messages and stuff after this video.
Call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Thank you all for subscribing to the new channel. Again, this is where my new content is going to be here on YouTube for the time being, unless, of course, they take the restrictions away from my other channels. So let's build this channel out and let's continue exposing what's going on in the world, like the real things going on in the world, not the fake crap that they constantly are shoving down our throats.
You know, the real things, like microchips in your vaccines, not real things like terrorist attacks on the federal government.
Which they don't want us questioning, which is why channels like mine continue to get shut down or demonetized and get strikes for no reason. They don't want people waking up. That being said, there's a few things in the news I want to discuss here. Obviously, I've talked about C19, I can't talk about that here on YouTube anymore. That's one of the things I'm not doing. So I talk about that over on the website. There's 2 new strands of it. Absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to see that content, go over.
As it turns out, when you let a virus run rampant throughout the population, it'll mutate because that's what viruses do, and it changes how it behaves.
There.
I guess you should have taken it more seriously.
And one of the things I brought up again over there, and I'm bringing up here, is that military has been deployed in all of the states here in America, and it's important that people are aware of this because any type of event that occurs on Inauguration Day, they will deploy martial law.
I doubt it, unless there was a series of very severe terrorist attacks, which is possible. I don't think it'll happen, but anything's possible after we saw what happened on the 6th. And if it did, I don't know. But it's not likely.
Maybe it will only be in that specific city, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's multiple things that are created, again, by them that would force them to do what they want. Because, again, it's not force. This is them tricking people into wanting this. Like I said from the get-go, they are making people want martial law. They're making people want to take away people's rights to free speech because everybody's a soft cupcake and it's hate speech now. No one can defend themselves. But when it comes to what other people say, like, you know, people with difference of opinion, as long as it fills into the Antichrist narrative, the love, nonsensical garbage that they spew, especially
capitalism.
Okay, look, I don't believe in I'm not religious, okay? So I don't believe in the Antichrist. I don't believe, like, in Jesus and stuff. So I certainly don't believe in the Antichrist. But if the Antichrist existed and their rhetoric was love, wouldn't that make them the good guy? Like, ideally, you want people to sort of love each other and care about each other. Like, if the Antichrist is love, and Jesus is like, hey, if you happen to be gay, I'm gonna burn you for eternity, I'm gonna go with the Antichrist. The Antichrist sounds like a cool dude, relatively speaking. Just saying.
Here on YouTube, then everybody's all for it and there's no censorship for them. It's hypocritical. It's a joke. But with martial law deployed, free speech is gone, the right to assemble is gone, the right to bear arms is gone, and you're in a military state. I've talked about it years past. Celebrities have been socially engineering people to want martial law, from that Rosie O'Donnell. I was going to say something about.
Again, is it 1998? Is Rosie O'Donnell a current celebrity that people care about?
Her appearance, but I won't. And all these other people in these liberal mainstream social media or social engineers have been getting people to want martial law and ask for it. So if this does go down this week, like a lot of us think it will, some type of event, I mean, they're hinting way too much at it. It would really make no sense unless they just want to do it as another censorship pull or to make us look like we're crazy. But the simple fact is they're deploying National Guard all around the country.
I don't think they need to do a lot of work to make people think you look crazy. Call for an uprising. I think you got it on lock.
And everyone should be aware of it. If something happens, understand who's behind it. It's from within. And if something doesn't happen, then it's just another way to prepare people to get used to this.
So there's no falsifiability involved. Whether something happens or not, it's all towards New World Order. Obviously, nothing can disprove him. If something happens, it's not right-wing wackos like him. It's the government. And if nothing happens, it's the government preparing you for martial law anyway. How would... A call for an uprising. What would convince you you're wrong? Because if the answer is nothing, then you don't have a reasonable belief system, you have a dogma.
And to get used to, seeing the military outside their state capitals, to literally making this country look like a movie, a military state movie. You got the barbed wire fence around the White House. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really, truly is.
They got that because a bunch of right-wing MAGA idiots and QAnoners tried to do a terrorist attack and did do a terrorist attack on the Capitol building.
So I wanted to bring that up just so people are aware if you weren't aware. And before I get into something that you guys have to see, which is ridiculous, one other thing as far as the military goes, I covered this today on my website, and I'm just going to show a clip here because I couldn't stop laughing when I saw this. When all this stuff happened at Capitol Hill, I did a video that day, and the next day, the first thing I said was that it was comical because these people were hanging off walls like Spider-Man, literally, like just climbing walls, hanging, and I said this is obviously a military operation.
Hold on. Rioter falls Capitol. Let's take a look at this obvious military operation, shall we? Where's the guy falling off the wall? Rider falls off wall. Capital. Why is this difficult to find? Let me go to YouTube. Let's look at this obvious military operation. They're military, so clearly they're highly trained individuals, right? It's a shame that the military couldn't teach that guy to, you know, climb a wall properly.
They literally are coming out now saying that the people who were, you know, heading the charge and doing this stuff were ex-military veterans with military training.
I think they said there were a couple people there who were ex-military, yes.
With special forces training. And they just all decided to form a militia together, which is, you know, and there's...
That happens relatively often. The right-wing militia terrorist organization movement has accelerated in the United States, so yeah, that happens.
Saying how extreme it is and how it's worse, it's more scarier than Al-Qaeda and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's unbelievable because they literally, once again, created an event and they look like buffoons because of the way that people, the things that people were doing. These aren't normal people. Don't just show up, climb walls like that, jump off. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. They're crazy QAnon people and MAGA losers. It's weird that they're behaving like that. I would agree, but it doesn't mean they're not doing it, because they did it, and we know they did it. Many of them have already been arrested, and their identities have been released.
To think that these people didn't have military training, and that's what I was talking about when it first happened, and now they're coming out talking about it. So, I mean, you can't make some of this stuff up, can you? I mean, they're pretty much admitting that the military had involvement, but they're saying, oh, these were just like refugees. These guys went rogue on their own. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they did.
Tell me more. Give me a break. Another thing I wanted to discuss.
An argument from incredulity isn't an argument at all.
Discuss here, because it has to be discussed. Amongst all of this nonsense going on, right? And I think we all could feel pretty uneasy that something's going to go down soon. This story has literally just come out. We aren't even going to believe this. Take a guess who owns the largest amount of farmland in the United States of America. Take one guess.
Chat, guess. I know the answer. I'm curious if you guys do. It's an individual, not a company, for the record. Some people are getting it right. It's Bill Gates. Bill Gates is an individual who owns the most farmland in the United States as an individual.
Yeah, you might not have guessed right, but guess again. Here he is. Ready? Bill Gates. Bill Gates owns the largest portion of farmland in America, specifically in Arkansas. Now you might say, well, Arkansas, because that's what I said. Well, what's normally farmed in Arkansas, right? Because different states farm different things based on the agriculture and the weather and stuff like that. Arkansas is a major producer of crops. Besides being the largest producer of rice in the U.S., it's a major producer of soybeans, right?
Not the soy! Bill Gates is manufacturing soy boys, confirmed.
As well as corn and a few other things. So you get your high fructose corn syrup, which makes everyone fat and sick. But of course you get soy, because what have I been talking about? With these, these not real meat foods filled with soy, so much soy, it's unbelievable. That there's actually stories about men growing breasts and things like that.
Boy, I wish it was that easy. Then I wouldn't have to pay for these prescriptions. No. This comes up a lot. H-Bomber Guy actually did a video about this years ago, about, like, the soy boy thing. So soy contains a large amount of I want to say it's phytoestrogen. I'm not positive, though. Yeah, there we go. Yes, Jalen Jean said phytoestrogens. So, soy has a large amount of phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are plant estrogens, right? So this started a rumor amongst idiots that, oh, if you eat soy and eat all those phytoestrogens, you're going to get feminized. Not the case. Phytoestrogens, well, they have a similar role of estrogen in plants as to normal estrogen in humans. It's not the same thing. Phytoestrogens do not affect human beings like estrogen does. They're different things. They're just similar. So when idiots, and even in the trans community, I know this because I'm part of the trans community, like when the Impossible Whopper came out and it's got soy in it, there were memes about like, I'm going to go eat 30 Whoppers, Impossible Whoppers to get them titties, and it's funny. But it's not true, right? Right-wingers take these memes seriously and think that soy, which has phytoestrogen, is actually going to affect you like normal estrogen. It doesn't. In any way, shape, or form. Believe me, I would eat soy constantly if it worked that way. But instead, I gotta go and get my normal, human estrogen. And I gotta pay for it. And it's a pain in the ass.
So what a surprise. And of all the people who would own the most farmland, it makes perfect sense that it would be the guy who founded Microsoft. Huh? The same guy who is at the head of the movement to get people jabbed. Huh? The same guy whose father was one of the founders of Planned Parenthood. Huh?
Is Bill Gates' dad one of the Hold on. Let's take a Google, shall we? Let's see if Snopes has something on this. Maybe he's right. I have no idea. If he did, that would be fine, though, because Planned Parenthood is a good organization. Bill Gates' father, Planned Parenthood. Okay. It's autofilling, so there might be some truth to it. Control F. Planned. Gates served on the boards of numerous organizations in the Pacific Northwest, including the Greater Seattle Chamber of Commerce, King County United Way, and Planned Parenthood. In '95, he founded the Technology Alliance. He was on the board of Planned Parenthood, but how old is Planned Parenthood? Planned Parenthood has its roots back into 1921, and it changed its name to Planned Parenthood in 1942. I'm very much doubting Bill Gates' father was there in 1916 or 1921 to found it. He was on the board, but that doesn't make him a founder. He was on the board, like, later. Yeah, he used the JFK Jr. time travel to go and invent it. That's the answer. Mystery solved.
Control the food, control the vax, Planned Parenthood, microchip technology.
By the way, a call for an uprising. If you take 5 seconds to Google things before you open your mouth, you'll sound like less of an idiot. I would recommend it quite highly.
Boy, none of these are suspicious things. This is just a really talented guy. He's all over the map. What's next? Is the CEO of PepsiCo gonna suddenly be the next Martha Stewart and, make linen sheets? I mean, boy, this guy's got talent. Boy. So he owns all the farmland, which is frightening. This is frightening.
Again, he owns the most farmland of an individual, but that doesn't mean he owns most of the farmland in the country. He doesn't. A lot of that's held by either large corporations that do factory farming or individual family farmers.
Bill and Melinda Gates are taking on the new title of the biggest farmland owners in the U.S., with a good chunk of that ownership being in Arkansas. The Gates family has a total of 242,000 acres in the United States. Do you know how many acres that is?
242,000 acres. Let's see how much total farmland there is in the United States to figure out what percentage he has. So they said he has 242,000 acres. Okay. How many acres of farmland in the U.S.? Let's take a look. What did he say? 242... 897 million divided by 242,000. Oops, I gotta do the opposite, actually. Sorry. 242,000 by 897, what is that, million? 897 million 400, oops, 00 000. So Bill Gates, ooh, I'm so scared. So Bill Gates owns Call for an uprising is such an idiot. Ooh, Bill Gates owns 0.026%. Actually, I'll round up even. It's even scarier. Bill Gates owns 0.03% of the farmland in America. 0.03! A third of 1%! The horror! What will we do? Come on, a call for an uprising. Come on.
For those of you that don't know acreage, a normal like house in a development is on 1 acre, if that. That's if you have a little bit of room between the houses. The way they're making houses now, most people's houses are on like 0.5 of an acre. 242,000 acres.
Sorry, I said a third of a percent. It's not even that. It's 3% of 1%. Jesus Christ.
Gates owns 47,927 of those acres in Arkansas, which is 17.8% of the family's total land holdings. The report, though, did not specify the total amount was completely farmland.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, it's a 30th of 1%. He owns a 30th of 1% of America's farmland, and a call for an uprising being an idiot who has to try and conspiracize about everything. Has to be like, oh my god, he's planting soy!
Arkansas ranks second in the U.S. as far as farmland goes, with Louisiana reportedly seeing the family owning 70,000 acres of land there. I mean, can you make this stuff up? I mean, all the stuff we always talk about, they call us crazy conspiracy nuts, is
yeah, because you're demonstrably wrong.
Controlling the resources. And, I mean, think about these people. Why would they not want to control... I wouldn't want to control the resources because I'm not a scumbag and I'm not, trying to poison the world. But when these people control the farmland, which means they control what's going into the food, which means if this guy's controlling the soy, he's just shoving soy in every product is what this country is doing and the FDA is doing.
There's nothing funny about
and
the
he's the face. He is literally the face of the jab movement that's going on.
Not really. First of all, it's not a jab movement, right? Vaccinations have been normal and good for like a century almost now. You guys are the weirdos who all of a sudden started making a conspiracy out of medicine. That's on you guys. I don't think about Bill Gates at all in regard to vaccinations unless I'm thinking about his foundation's research efforts on a malaria vaccine. Outside of that, I don't think of Bill Gates ever. You guys are obsessed with him. No one else is.
In this country. And on top of it, the guy is the microchip technology, and he's a face of the soy burger. I mean...
Microchip technology, because he was involved in computers? Cool.
Can you make this stuff up? You can't. You can't script it.
Does he know Microsoft is a software company and not a hardware company? Does he understand the difference? Because Microsoft doesn't make microchips. I mean, now they might, but that wasn't like their initial purpose, right? They made the Windows operating system that they licensed to computers to run, a GUI and stuff. Like, they didn't build microchips. But it's computers, so it's all the same.
And nobody questions it, and nobody says boo. They just follow protocol like the zombies that they are. So those are just some stories I wanted to talk about. I'm interested in seeing your take on the fact that Bill Gates owns the most farmland in America, and you can see how into it he is and invested in this. Guy's got a lot of time. I don't know if he's got a lot of clones, or it must be all that adrenochrome he's getting. He must not sleep much, because this guy is, you can't make it up. I mean, you just can't. You can't. So while he's getting ready to inject the nation, while he's getting ready to microchip the nation, while he's getting ready...
I've repeated this before, but let me repeat it again. You already have microchips on you at all times if you have a phone. They don't need to inject it into your bloodstream.
To soy up the nation, he is also gathering as much land as possible to use as farmland. And we're supposed to believe we're overpopulated, by the way. Wink, wink. And on top of that...
When they're talking about overpopulation, they're talking about carrying capacity and our impact on the environment, not a lack of land, you idiot.
His father is famous and rich for starting Planned Parenthood.
His dad didn't start Planned Parenthood.
Be an occultist. Can't be a Satanist. No way, no how. That
I don't think he is.
Wouldn't make any sense, now would it? Please. If people only ask questions and put one and one together, I mean, put one and one together. Put two and one together.
All you need is to have paranoid delusions like me and the world will make total sense.
Simple math. Use common sense here. This is America in 2021. What's next? I mean, are we gonna... I don't even know. I don't even know what can compare to this. When I saw this article, I just laughed because I was like, this is just so surreal. They don't even care anymore. They're not hiding any of it anymore because they know that nobody cares at this point. And that's how they're allowed to get away with this stuff, allowed to censor, allowed to take away free speech, creating psyops all over the place. Amazing. So I remind everyone, please check out the website at callforuprising.com if you haven't already. Please consider becoming a member. It's well worth it for $2.99. I want to thank the Patreons. Because of you, it keeps me going here on YouTube. I want to thank everyone who came over here. Again, if you haven't seen the Teespring store, check it out as well. It's another way you could help raise awareness about this channel and help this channel out. That's kind of just a way to mark.
Screw Bucket says, methinks Rise has a bit of a fixation on femboys. Who doesn't?
Marketed at this point because, again, they silence all of us on here from waking people up. That's their goal. They don't want more people to wake up. So we got to
just give this idiot $3 a month and he'll shout nonsense at you through the computer. Hooray. So that's a call for an uprising. He's very wrong about a lot of things. He's also ban evading, so I look forward to perhaps this channel get deleted at some point by YouTube. That'd be fun. Bit messages. We have many bit messages to get to. The comment section on that call for a rainbow video he mentioned you in took so much umbrage with comparing having a phone to microchips injections. Yeah, because it blows holes in their stupid argument. I imagine they were very upset. Antipodian Squid says, chat may be occasionally funnier than you, but we don't look nearly as good in tinfoil. Oh, thanks, Squid. Squid is also the stream boss. Are we ever going to look at his website? Perhaps. I don't really want to give him $3, though. Bitterest Broad with 100 bits. So embarrassing fun fact, I was unironically subbed to A Call for an Uprising for years. Also, I was in a small religious cult for almost 20 years. Hey, what matters is the fact that you were able to, like, get out of that mindset, and that's good. Queer-coded villain, thank you for following. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. He got rid of the pandemic team years before COVID. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. W made the pandemic team, which makes Trump getting rid of it just that much dumber. Oh, I apologize. I think under Obama they did something to it. I forget what it was. Maybe it was just they created the preparedness plan. I don't remember. Daddy Sume with 30 bits. A town with no drugs, no crime. Centralia, Pennsylvania, apparently. Okay. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 20 bits. Minimum wage should be at least $100,000 a year. Why is it less? We could easily support it with no bad consequences. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. How do you add bars and stores but simultaneously remove jobs when those establishments need employees? Via magic. Enlid with 20 bits. Guy says we're too divided but probably would rage against a progressive tax policy and denies climate change. Stone Corbell with 20 bits. You know who did campaign on I have all the answers? Trump. Projection munch. Centralia has a coal mine on fire underneath and it has no residents. That'd do it. And Lid with 20 bits. Yes, Trump was so good at his job. Just look at the economy with low unemployment and high stock market. Just ignore the fact that those trends started under the Obama administration. They do a lot of stuff like that. For instance, He made a new call for a rainbow video and is just posting the same vids he made for the first rainbow channel. Yeah. YouTube might pick up on that. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But yeah, like under the Obama administration, black unemployment was going down at a really high rate relatively. And then under Trump, the rate itself slowed down by a lot. It went from like a 5% change per year to like a 0.5%. But because it was already building on the previous lows, it got higher, or lower rather, by like 0.5%. And then Trump went, lowest unemployment for black people ever, even though he slowed down the trend that Obama had under his administration. It's very frustrating. It's why it's important to look at the numbers for these things, because they can be incredibly misleading. JFH Dot, thank you for following. Queer Coded Villain, thank you for subscribing. Tumak Von Raven with 300 bits. Trump only made it through his presidency because he didn't give an F. If you look at Obama after his presidency, it would not be surprising that it would finish Biden. Enlid with 20 bits. Why did Dems hate him? Oh, I don't know. He gave massive tax cuts to the rich, destroyed the EPA, didn't believe in climate change, stopped the Cuba negotiations, pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, pulled out of the Paris Accords, cut labor and financial regulations, just to name a few. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. Yeah, man, you need to wake up and stop filming in your car. I should make that Garfield meme my background. Purple Nickel with 100 bits. You look like you're from the Matrix with those mirror glasses. Thanks? Enlid with 20 bits. The question is, are they interdimensional or from space? Both. They're from an interdimensional outer space. Lex Just Lex with following. Thank you. 314 Nikki, thank you for following. Underground Aesthetic, thank you for following. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. F him. I know someone that died from COVID. Yeah. Sorry to hear about that. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Hannah, we can't wait that long. We need to check on Thursday or Friday. No, we gotta wait till next week for checking in on these people. Tinfoil Tuesday is only special because it's once a week, okay? Towing24 with 20 bits. Your beef with China is capitalism, bruh. Alizar Inov Crimson. Alizarino of Crimson 17, thank you for following. Clockwork Van, thank you for gifting a sub. Purple Nickel with 100 bits. I don't know about the Antichrist, but when your grandfather was a little, the priest claimed him to be Satan. Greatest guy I ever knew. R.I.P. Papa. Antipodian Squid with 500 bits becomes the stream boss. Thank you. Purple Nickel with 100 bits. My grandfather, not you, stupid phone. Daddy Sume with a clip that I have in the wings. Marcus Drake with 100 bits. Speaking of terrorism, a soldier got arrested planning to blow up the 9/11 memorial per AP. I read about that. He thought he was talking with ISIS, but it was really the FBI or something. Crazy stuff. Antipodian Squid with 50 bits. Climbing the walls. It was obviously a military operation. Nah, mate. Parkour. It's actually not parkour unless you yell parkour. True fact. That XY girl with 50 bits. But Hannah, I drink soy and my body can't process androgens. Checkmate, atheists. Michael Stone Drums, thank you for following. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. But people make so much money by sounding like an idiot. Andrew Batella with 20 bits. But Hannah, of course you didn't find Bill Gates Sr. as the founder of Planned Parenthood in a Google search. Bill Gates Jr. controls the search results. B Silver 94 with 100 bits. My psycho aunt believes this kind of crap. She's anti-vax. Also, over the last few years, she's been scaring my grandpa, telling her that Trump is in hiding, fearing for his life, and he is planning to do a nationwide power outage over the next few days to retain power. That's the 10 days of darkness QAnon people think is going to happen. Don't worry, it won't. Derp42069, thank you for resubscribing with a 3-month streak, says, these people are exhausting. Indeed they are. Daddy Sume, thank you for the 20 bits. Hannah makes me all gooey, but it's spelled like gooey, G-U-I. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. You can't make this stuff up. Clearly you can. Andrew Batella with 20 bits. I'm almost done with the bits messages, by the way. I know there's a lot. Andrew Batella with 20 bits. But wait it, Adrenochrome. Microsoft's own browser Edge last year switched to the Blink browsing engine that Chrome uses. Adrenochrome. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 20 bits. I will not let Bill Gates implant a microchip in me. Guy who lives in a country where the government knows your address, social security number, and whether or not you pay your taxes. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. You need to click the link. You need context. Will do. Let's see what this was. It was not the math. It was not this. It's not that. Was it this? Okay. Hold on. Oh, God. Oh, that's so loud. I'm sorry. We go back to the beginning. That's funny. Let's see what else we have from the QAnon peeps, shall we? This guy thinks QAnon is CIA propaganda, so this guy's actually anti-QAnon, but for all the wrong reasons. So let's take a look.
Okay, I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I used to say some things that were on my podcast. I've deleted a few of my episodes because I've said some stuff I'm not proud of. I'm not going to apologize for saying those things.
Why? If you said something bad, apologize and move on. It's okay. You can get forgiveness. I said things in my edgy bullshit phase when I was like 18 or whatever that I regret, and I've apologized for them, and that's fine.
I'm not going to apologize for disliking corrupt billionaires and other such people.
No one wants you to apologize for disliking billionaires. That's fine. I imagine you said some more inflammatory things about them, though, like perhaps insinuating that they were involved in some sort of satanic cult or something.
The people that I believe are pedophiles, the people that I believe
there it
are
is.
destroying our democracy from within, people such as Bill Gates, people such as George Soros, people such as Klaus Schwab, all of them, and even organizations, you know, the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all these organizations, I'm not apologizing for not liking them or having issues with them.
Who looks at the NAACP and is like, Jesus Christ.
I'd really be keen to see the final...
Hold on, let me see what the other videos this guy has are.
Financial donations, especially to organizations like the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, other organizations.
I think he just looks young.
I'm going to apologize for any of that stuff. What I am going to kind of apologize for is being apologetic to QAnon, because I kind of fall into their I used to fall into their traps a bit in terms of how I would think about stuff. I've become a lot more of a critical thinker lately. Especially around every time they say, "Oh, the plan's set in motion. This is all part of the plan." It never materializes. And I just want you guys to be aware of the QAnon conspiracy. So the QAnon conspiracy is essentially that traitors in the CIA, or patriots really, but traitors to the government, releasing information to the American public via chat rooms like Discord, 4chan, Reddit, all that sort of stuff, and basically trying to help out the patriots, give them hope and all this stuff. And reality is QAnon is, I believe, I think there's a word for it. No, it's black propaganda. That's what it is. Yeah, black propaganda, where it's essentially fake news in a way that basically controls the people in the way they want. So the government would say, okay, well, these people already kind of know that we're sketchy people. Let's use some propaganda.
He did mention 4chan, so on the bingo card, cross off 4chan or Chan or whatever as a source.
And make them feel like there's a plan to end this tyranny, and it'll never materialize. It'll just keep going. The devil will always be this close, you know. And we saw QAnon supporters raid the Capitol last 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks now. Jeez. And I just have to say, first off, I'm not a part of QAnon. Never really was. I just thought some of their ideas were interesting. And I have to say that I disagree with a lot of the stuff they say. Because what it is basically, it's the government making an operation so you, instead of fighting back and doing the right thing and opposing them, you just sit in your ass and you don't do anything. Because QAnon says it's all part of the plan. The plan is going into motion. People are going to Gitmo tomorrow. All this stuff.
That doesn't make it controlled opposition. It means it's a bunch of conspiracy theorists tying themselves into knots because they're so conspiratorial they're willing to be led by anyone on the internet who claims to be a government official with secret information. That doesn't make it a CIA operation.
It'll never materialize. And I just think that anyone that's a populist or slightly on the right, even classical liberals, really need to consider what conspiracies they go onto. Because even Alex Jones, top tier guy in terms of conspiracy theories, does not believe in
I don't trust anyone who describes Alex Jones as a top tier guy.
QAnon and thinks it's wrong and thinks it's incorrect and has never gotten anything right. The thing about Alex is, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I guess, but a lot of his theories have come true, whether you like them or not.
Such as?
So I just want to be wary of that stuff. And I condemn QAnon. I don't agree with them. I don't associate with them. And we really got to be careful. Please don't be sharing their stuff. Be very careful what conspiracies you are into or things you're kind of assuming, because it will destroy your credibility. I've deleted past podcast episodes where I talked kindly of QAnon, I believe. I believe I've deleted all of them because I'm embarrassed by that. I don't associate with them. Of course, I think there's pedophiles and rich elites that do terrible, disgusting things and keep wars going and put bad things in our drugs. I totally believe that stuff. That's an open secret. I believe that before QAnon, though. So that's all I'm going to say for today. Be wary. Of course, go check out my mates, Exami Paz, Cross the Rubicon, Krusty Canuck, Dia Beltran, Cauldron Pool. And yeah, there should be links on the channels page. Yeah, go check them all out. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos coming out soon. Thank you very much.
I can't tell if this guy is 12 or 43. Yeah, sure, the Soros mention can be thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. It usually is, so. I always forget where these are. There we go. Someone says bingo? Do you have bingo? Pedant Sonited, I believe, said bingo first, so let me take a look. Tracking microchip implants, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, free space satanic, QAnon, yeah. You got it. Looks like you already have a sub, so let me write your name down. Congrats on winning bingo. Pedants United. Let me know whenever you would like that, or if you want me to gift it to someone else. It was very close. Yeah, Comrade Devin was just like seconds too late on the bingo. Very, very close, though. Nice. Congrats on the bingo win. I'm sorry, Comrade Devin. It was very close. You were very, very close. Just not quite. Close but no cigar. Pedants United won bingo on Spirit Science yesterday, too. Wow. Very lucky. You got bingo on the exact same spot? Yeah. Across the middle. Maybe you got very similar cards. Yeah. That happens sometimes.
Speaking from Norwood, Louisiana. It is now Monday, January 18th at 1:19 a.m. Central Standard Time. After listening to the Saints lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think the final score was 30-20, unless Tampa Bay scored very late.
Sports and QAnon.
Saints were having
Two
a lot of
terrible
issues with
tastes
turnovers,
that I don't want to hear about,
that's
especially together.
basically what did them in. But I was very sleepy all day. Sometime in the afternoon during the Chiefs-Browns game, which I think the Chiefs won, but I didn't get the final score. I got that feeling in my stomach of something really bad happening again. And no clue what that was all about. It's gone now. And I've got a regular cough drop in my mouth, which is why it's you may see it in my cheek, but Mom's been sending me some stuff, various links, and at first I wasn't paying attention to them. I finally started paying attention because she sent a link that I actually liked, which was with Monkey Works. Works being spelled W-E-R-X, and that's his Mil-Spec Ops, which is short for Military Special Operations. His, Overwatch is what he calls it.
Okay, I'm bailing on this guy.
And I was paying attention to that, and
boring, and also sad.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How you doing? Today is January 19th, 2021.
This video is entitled QAnon, Reality or Bullshit? We will know tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow's the day that Joe Biden is sworn into office, unless you are one of the many QAnon movement believers. You feel tomorrow Trump will regain power and there will be a rise in this country to take back America. I kind of want to talk a minute about the Q movement. I want to talk about if they're real or not. I have serious questions. Now I'm going to start out with this. I have many friends who are heavy into QAnon. That's okay. I have people who watch this channel, people who comment to me, who are big in this Q movement. That's okay. As an American, as somebody who actually loves the Constitution, we have to remember we all have rights and freedoms. So everyone has the right to believe what they want to. No one is allowed to dictate to you what you should or should not believe. And I'll start out with a couple of things. First and foremost, I cannot, just personally, I cannot get behind a lot of the things I hear out of the QAnon community. But that doesn't mean they're wrong about everything. Because you do have to remember, 10, 20 years ago, some of the biggest things that Q talked about was the fact that I still remember threads from many years ago.
Q didn't exist 20 years ago. Q surfaced in 2017.
Chasing down UFOs and squadrons of them and everything, and everyone thinking they're just a bunch of crazies. And in the last couple of years, the government releases videos of fighter pilots chasing down UFOs.
Oh my God! It was a bird.
Squadrons of them. there's a lot of things that has come out of QAnon that has proven to be true, but there's a lot that is so outlandish I have a hard time getting behind. I won't disparage them though, because again, there's so many conspiracies in this country that have turned out to be true. Things like MK Ultra, things like the Philadelphia experiment, things like
the Philadelphia experiment, for those who don't know, is a thing where people think they teleported a battleship with like CIA technology. They teleported it.
You know, hell, the UFOs. And the fact that our government is now coming out and saying, yes, they exist. Yes, we're being visited from other worlds. And yes, there's a possibility that we possess craft. So that's huge, and it's a shot in the arm.
Okay, that guy's boring. So this is the QAnon. We've looked at on Chudwatch. We've looked at the Donald.win, which is a website where a bunch of Donald Trump supporters get together. This is similar, except it's the Great Awakening.win, and it is a place for believers of QAnon to get together and share their bullshit theories. So let's take a look at some of this stuff. This is Trump's farewell address, which he just did, I guess.
My fellow Americans.
Recently. I don't think we're going to watch this whole thing, but we might watch a little bit of it, and then we'll read some of the QAnon people's response. Because, of course, they think Trump's not going to be gone tomorrow, so why would he do a farewell address if he was going to be gone?
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore...
Is it worse than the Donald.win? I'd say it's as bad, but in different ways.
The allegiance of...
Call put out an even newer video 18 minutes ago. Oh, God, what's it about?
If you've ever...
Oh, God, we'll probably save this one for next week. Oh, did he get... yeah, he got... it got demonetized, his other video. Good. I hope I helped. I reported that video for being anti-vax. And it got age-gated. Good. We'll probably save that for next week, though. Or whatever other video he has by then.
This government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States...
Oof, that's gotta burn the QAnon people.
I stand before...
He just admitted that he's ending his term as president.
You, truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word. I'd like to begin by thanking just a few of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible. First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara. You fill my world with light and with joy. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen, and the entire Pence family. Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff, and the Cabinet, and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service. My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House Military Office, the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces.
and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people. To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens.
Oh, get fucked.
Hello, everyone.
Oopsie, didn't mean to do that.
Who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our capital.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
I guess you shouldn't have riled them up with lies about election fraud then. That would have been great.
Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as...
I'm a billionaire, but I'm an outsider, trust me. I have a golden toilet like all of you.
...as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hard-working patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because...
Okay, I assume he's just going to flate himself for the next 20 minutes. So, the point is, it's a farewell address. You get it. I am more interested in what the QAnon supporters on this subreddit have to say about it. Kitty, can you rub the microphone behind it so I can talk into it? That would be excellente. Thank you, Kitty. Anyway, let's take a look at what the QAnon people have to say about his farewell address. He says, or they say, I guess I don't know their gender, he better not roll over and take this. I want to trust the plan because this isn't the Trump we know. He didn't lose the election. It was stolen. We are in for the darkest times in our history if Biden gets sworn in. It's still incredibly vague. However, the feeling I get is that it is not the Trump we know. We haven't seen that Trump since the 6th. I'm praying that we can get the justice this country needs. Oof, that's a military-grade cope. I think he's going to take a bow and step off the stage. I really do. The military is about to take... Nope, knock that over. Come on, kitty. She's trying to cause trouble. Come on. No. No. Mm-mm. I really hope so. The country will be in a civil war within 2 years if half the stuff they've got planned happens. Looting and rioting plus civil war equals international powers step in. No country that is powerful enough can come to our land and terrain and win against millions of Americans spread out looking like innocent civs. Remember, we won 9 out of 10 battles in Vietnam and lost because the insurgents looked like civs and were native to the lands. Oh boy. They want our country, land, and resources. They don't want people. So what's better than urban warfare? How about an infiltration from within and a virus genetically modified to it? Oh, that's not a word that I'm going to use. Oh, no. Why are QAnon people the way they are? Stunned that you don't see American taxpayer as the world's most valuable resource. To the CCP, we make much better slaves than their own people. Ooh. Endlessly consuming and paying interest, tax our money over and over, then give it to their friends. We are the pay pigs to their production slaves. A match made in hell. How did Bill... Oh, no, they're on the Bill Gates thing. How did Bill Gates become the largest farmland owner? Wait, never mind. All assets will be seized. Instead, they F you over 80 years into the future, making the people strangle themselves through their legal ignorance while they binge the latest and greatest from the Matrix. That's why CCP and old USSR communists did infiltration. Only way to destroy the US was unrestricted, irregular warfare. Kitty, why must you knock over the thing? Sorry, I gotta hide some stuff in the desk so she's not knocking them off the desk. Nope, that's not for kitties. That's not for kitties. Cat's gonna cat. Yeah, they will. This person says, granted, I'm just a lurker, but what are the things you think they'll do? Take away the Second Amendment, which leads to the ban of the First Amendment. They said this, Obama had 8 years. Obama had 8 years, and he did not take your guns, guys. No one is taking your guns. Grow up. You're so insecure. Completely ban conservatives from social media. No, you will get banned from social media if you promote violence or if you, like, say racial slurs. Those correlate highly with Republicans these days, unfortunately. If you want that to not happen, then I guess just stop. Tell Lupine that Mama loves and misses her. Lupine! Mama's in chat on the internet, and she says she loves and misses you. Lupine says thank you. Fun fact, more gun laws were passed under Trump administration than Obama's entire presidency. What a shock. Trump supporters, and especially those who worked in his administration, will be blacklisted and their names put into black books. I mean, don't work for a fascist then, and then you'll probably have an easier time getting jobs. Trump supporters, and especially those... Oh, already read that. Re-education camps, as many Democrat politicians have called for. Forced vaccination. Oh no, you're gonna give us medicine! Brainwashing our children to hate the U.S. Segregation will happen again, as Black Lives Matter wants. I don't think they know anything about Black Lives Matter. Give billions of dollars in cash to Iran again, while giving Americans less than $600 in COVID relief. Completely selling out the country to China, and so much worse. This person says, I'm already scrubbing my social media, and I told my kids that if anyone asks not to say they support Trump. We're in a super conservative area, and I'm still afraid what will happen to us. I won't stop fighting. I'm just going to not be quite so vocal about my hatred for Joe and, quote, the hoe. So again, the crypto-fascist, or rather, the fascists are going back to being crypto-fascists, I guess. Interesting strategy. Removal of Electoral College and amnesty for 11 million illegals is pretty devastating, and those are on the table, considering they have a stolen supermajority. Okay, first of all, no, they barely have a majority with Kamala as the tiebreaker. They don't have a supermajority. The Electoral College being removed would be a great thing, because everyone's vote would be equal, and then amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants. They're already in the country. If you give them amnesty and you gave them citizenship, then they would be able to pay taxes. That would be a good thing. Let's see. Moving further down the thread, he says... He has to convince everyone that he is leaving fair and square, because after this, we go to interim military government, basically martial law. Trump cannot look connected in any way. He's a genius. Trust his track record and his character. Both his track record and his character imply he's a moron, so I don't know why you would point to those things to try and say he has some overarching secret plan. But cool. Cool, cool, cool. K-Wall says, I can't wait till tomorrow at 12:01 when I can finally stop worrying about all this. The best is yet to come. Luck, a very important word. They gotta point at anything they can potentially try and interpret as some signal, because it's all they have left at this point. This place is gonna blow up tomorrow after 12:01. It's gonna be crazy. This doesn't sound like a farewell, but more like a greeting to what's ahead. No, it sounds like he's saying goodbye because he's leaving the presidency tomorrow. He still did not say the new administration is Joe Biden. Yeah, because he's a sore loser. Oh, Lord. Okay, well, this thread's interesting. Watching this as you posted it, he didn't say Biden administration at the beginning, but he did say conclude being the 45th president. He's going to be the 19th president, homie. What do you mean the 19th? Ulysses S. Grant was the 18th president when the United States became a corporation. Is this Marcel Basset's secret account on the greatawakening.win? I can't wait for everything to be done and over with. The sooner Trump takes office again, the better. Oh no. This person's account is called COVID-19 Deception. And they say, all right, so basically, allegedly, well, I think it's true, but I'm no lawyer. You don't say. The United States, as you know it, is really a corporation, aka the United States Incorporated. The Act of 1871 turned the U.S. into the U.S. Incorporated. The Act of 1871 installed a government for Washington, D.C., and then that act was actually overturned like 5 years later anyway. So it doesn't even matter. The last real president of the real original U.S. was the 18th president. Since then, every president has been a president of the U.S. corporation. People on this site and some other sites believe that if Trump remains president, then he will dissolve the corporation, therefore returning to the original republic. Personally, I wish that were true, and if that's going to happen, but I am a doomer and have been since SCOTUS didn't give an F about the blatant massive elector fraud. And then someone has a PDF that we're probably going to read on... Oh yeah, this has got to be for Sovereign Citizen Day, right? We got to read this? Sure. We'll save that for a Sovereign Citizen Day. Expert gives opinion outside a field of expertise? No, because he's not an expert. It would have to be like a, how do I put this? Like, imagine there was someone who had a PhD in literature, and they said, I am Dr. So-and-so. Let me tell you why the earth is flat. They'd be using their credentials in one field to try and bolster their argument in a field that they have no expertise in. That guy's just a random commenter who said I'm not a lawyer. He's not an expert in the first place. So, yeah, whale biologist explaining physics. Yeah. Stuff like that. Because he's a petty sore loser who can't even say his opponent's name. Pretty sad. True, and it got negative 88 votes. Sorry, I'm not going to read that one, but it was funny. Trump certified badass, impeached first for the crimes of someone else. Biden? And a second time on the grounds that he called for violence by calling for peace. Looking forward to the second term. Oh, Lord. These people are absolutely delusional. Let's see what else they got going on in different threads. They're saying because he didn't specifically mention the Biden administration that they think, you know. Here's this thread to everyone crying, I'm leaving here if Biden is inaugurated. Good riddance. Why not get out of here now? If you're going to pin everything on a single date, not working out the way you expected, then you're just baggage. Leave and clear up the airwaves. Nothing can stop what is coming. So the goalposts are already shifting from tomorrow to some nondescript date in the future. If you still plan to be here after Biden is inaugurated, you are in serious delusion. I wonder how long they will continue. Years later, thinking there are patriots on the inside working from important positions. If Biden is inaugurated, it's over. After the 22nd, with Trump's last court case being dismissed, it's super over. Something has to happen tomorrow. Hello, FBI, this post right here. How is the plan going to work with the swamp controlling every aspect of the government, including the military? Yeah, it's not. Our Red Sea moment is before tomorrow at noon. Again, FBI, this thread right here. Do I think after Biden is inaugurated, people will still believe in QAnon? Oh, yeah. It's a cult. It's a cult. People don't stop believing in cults because their predictions get wrong. That's how cults work. QAnon has gotten tons of predictions wrong before, but people still believe it. It's not about rationality. It's about feelings and feeling validated and in a group of people with like-minded ideas. Keep moving the goalposts. People are sick of it. This is life or death, not some game. Who sets the goalposts? You, right? Delusional. Why you mad, bro? Ah, the height of discourse. You mad? I just want to remind you that the very people we get info and Q-related info from has said over and over he won't be inaugurated. If the plan didn't go, but has been on point this whole time, that's not being logically or rationally consistent. That would mean we can't fully trust the plan. I'm not too proud to admit it. I've been wrong or tricked. I trust this plan now, and we'll see how this plays out. I'm fully on board and no, JODIS. JODIS is their acronym for God Emperor of the United States, referring to Trump. God Emperor of the United States. It's fight like hell for us, but if you try to move the goalposts and act like it's no big deal, you're delusional. Let's see what else they got. The title of this is, After That Speech, I'm taking it upon myself to release the Kraken, and it's Kraken rum. You know what? If QAnon people want to go get drunk tonight or tomorrow, instead of going and attacking people, right on. Get lit, fam. Do you. Yikerinos. This person is another one. This is a sticky mod post. Sorry, is it boring me just reading this? If you want me to move on, I'll move on. I just find this stuff interesting. But if you want me to move on to a video, let me know. Pierre Squire says, I don't drink these days. I'm a slutty drunk. Good to know. Okay, good. For anyone, and of course it's a Pepe meme, because it's 2015, I guess. For anyone who doubts it all, the only reason you need anywhere near 25,000 troops is if you're going to take control of a country. There's no other reason. Question, do you not realize that on the 6th there was a right-wing terrorist attack on the Capitol building? Just wondering if you remember that. I do. The real question is, who's really taking control of the country? Military, if anything, would be my guess. If Trump arrested all the deep state, no way could he go back into office without the left freaking out. It would be summer on Yeah, if you try and do a coup of the country, the populace will freak out. Are you serious? This guy says I'm gonna get drunk and watch. Already started. Guys, it's only 7 p.m. Are they gonna get drunk until tomorrow at noon? That's not healthy. I mean, I've been there, but that's not healthy. Why would the elected president, whom most of the world seems to acknowledge is the new POTUS, need to take control of the country by force? Again, he's not. It's protection because of the QAnon crazies and the MAGA people. Why is the FBI vetting and removing pro-Trump and pro-Constitution troops? Not pro-Constitution. Trump loyalists. And it's because they're afraid some idiot private somewhere who's OD'd on Q posts is gonna try and start some shit. Because they're the FBI, who are corrupt traitors? I doubt they can remove enough troops fast enough to make a meaningful difference. Yikerinos. The real tell is how worried the Dems are about the National Guard being there, yet the troop counts just keep rising. You don't have to get the FBI to background check and vet 27,000 troops if you're sending troops back home. Again, it's for security reasons, and I haven't seen any Democrats who are worried about the troops themselves, right? Oh, FBI, this guy. Or the sheer number of patriots that answered the call on the 6th, you know, the day the terrorist attack on the Capitol building happened, scared the ever-loving shit out of them. And this guy says, I was there. FBI, hello? Here's one. Here's one for you. Head of DC National Guard said today it was 65,000 troops. Last number I got was 25. Active in America. Sure. The thing that's bothering me right now is whose side they're on. Are the troops for America / Trump, or are they for the swamp / cabal? Again, they want a dictatorship so badly. These people are the least patriotic people on the fucking planet. Yet they're posing as if they're... as if they're people, you know, throwing tea into the harbor. Messed up. Let's look at some other threads. SpongeBob memes are universal, even to crazy people, I guess. Some coping in the comments section of this Newsmax video? Yes, please. This is Newsmax covering the president's farewell address. Let's see what the comments say. This ain't goodbye, but rather see you soon. Best president ever. MAGA for life. God be with President Trump and his family. Hated by the corrupt, loved by the honest. Never has the divide have been so... Oh my god. Let me see what the most recent ones are. We love you, President Trump. I'm wearing black tomorrow, mourning our country as we know it.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Oh, that's not dramatic at all. Can't wait to see what our president has plans for tomorrow. Again, like I said, he's gonna eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs and snort amphetamines while watching the news and sad posting. Actually, he can't sad post, his Twitter's gone. Best president in a very long time. Sad he was treated the way he was and cheated from a second term. Well. He's my president, even if he's not in the White House. What do they think the president means? It ain't over, not by a long shot. The world now fully belongs to criminals. Trump was the only one standing in their way. We lost. Turning point in history. I can't believe they actually pulled it off. A great crime. Onision's YouTube channels are going to be demonetized indefinitely. That's good. I think he makes a lot of money on, like, other places now, like his OnlyFans and some other stuff. I don't know. I am boycotting January 21st, 2021. You're gonna boycott a whole day? How does that work? Just getting blackout drunk and not experiencing it? The Republic just died. McConnell and Lindsay, it's your last term. Enjoy. People might forgive, but the Lord will not. Trump will be the last U.S. president who was actually elected by the people. He lost the popular vote twice. Let's all take an oath to never vote again. What's the point? Please, Trump Republicans, if you want to not vote ever again, go for it. Okay, that's pretty funny. Let's see what else we got.
Patriots Street
Whoa, loud. Apologies.
Fighters, here we are, round 2 tonight. It is now officially about 10:15 p.m. Central Time. It's 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Sorry that we decided to bring you back tonight. We had some breaking information that came out. I think it merits everybody getting this information out tonight ASAP. I just got off the phone about half an hour ago.
Thank you, Dan Ziggy Stardust,
with
for
Mike
that
Adams. Again, most of you know who Mike is, but what I can tell you is that what Lynn Wood says is true is now true, which once again validates the information I've been giving you, and the very reason why Lynn sent out that video from my November 12th broadcast to help people understand exactly what is going on in this military operation to bring down the cabal powers. So those validations continue to come in. Most important, what I got tonight is this, and I need everybody to listen very carefully because I know there's a lot of patriots on here, that you're loaded for bear.
This guy's mic is trash. He actually has the same exact microphone as me. It's just in a different, like this is a purple sleeve and he has a red one, but it's the same microphone.
Think you're going to have to defend your position here in this country. You're going to need to get involved in
Oh, it's fine. It is a trash microphone. It's a Yeti Blue. I need to invest in some better equipment at some point, and get an actual, like, instead of a USB mic, like a legit one.
I'm here to tell you the information that I got tonight. It is absolutely critical that all patriots stand down. This is not some type of, I don't want any bullshit shills coming in here and saying, oh, that's a strategy, that's a tactic. The most important thing we need to know right now, and listen, this is coming from Mike Adams. Mike Adams has come to the conclusion that everything that I have been sharing with him is spot on. And he now has come to realize, has got some information that validates that Lynn Wood's information is true. The information I've been putting out here is true. These guys, our military, our soldiers, the patriots, are in full control, and they are ready to deliver the justice that this country needs. So
they want a military coup so badly. Why? Why would you want this?
What they absolutely do not need is they don't need any patriots showing up. They don't need patriots getting involved in any operations, any of the cities where they are marshaling their forces and their equipment to handle the, not just the threats, but to take out this power structure on every level. Anywhere they're going to operate, if you see military conducting actions, don't think you need to get involved in on any level, because if you do, and you decide you want to step out into the street or anywhere and kick some ass and help out, you may just suffer the same consequences that the insurrectionists are going to suffer, because they are going.
You would be the insurrectionists in this case. It's so frustrating, and this is a fascist tactic. This is what fascists do. They will accuse other people of doing the thing that they are actually doing. So you'll see this with, like, Donald Trump or his ilk saying, like, oh, the Democrats are stealing the election. Meanwhile, he's been the one trying to steal an election in the courts and stuff like that. They will do this. Projection is a huge tool in the tool bag of neoconservatives and fascists. There's a pretty big overlap between those two things. It's terrible. Don't interfere. They're gonna take down insurrectionists by doing an insurrection. I don't know. Whatever.
Going to deliver the pain. Any of these people step up, and I'm talking about.
Military coups aren't meant to be done in the United States. That's meant for the U.S. to do in South American countries. Well, that's the thing. COVID restrictions this year. This year, the U.S. backed coup had to happen in America because we couldn't go anywhere else.
The milquetoast.
Someone else must have made that joke at some point already, right? That's an easy one.
Boy pussy BLM knuckleheads that are being used like cannon fodder and sheep that want to get out there, they're going to get mowed down. Any of these high-level ISIS-trained Antifa fighters.
ISIS-trained Antifa fighters?
You can just basically understand anybody that steps in their way, they're going to be treated as such. If there's some innocent dipshit, well, none of those dipshits are innocent. They're going to have to take on the responsibility for their decisions. If they get in the way of what these guys are going to be doing, they will not survive it. So I'm giving you this fair warning, the Patriots, the most important thing you can do. And I know you folks send me messages all the time and you're ready to go. All I can tell you is this information I got tonight is what I've been saying. We need to stand down. We need to let the professionals who are trained specifically for this mission. They're not just sending our soldiers out there.
At least he's using a
25,000 that are in
conspiracy
DC.
theory to
No.
lull the other conspiracy theories into complacency and not taking some sort of extremist, violent, terroristic action. Like, I don't think that's his intention. I think he probably actually legitimately believes all the bullshit he's peddling. But at the very least, the bullshit he's peddling is telling people to stay inside and not go and attempt to do some dumb shit. So that's good.
All the others that are in cities around the country, they're not being sent in to say, okay, here's what I want you to do now. This is mission specific. All their operations are finely tuned and dialed in for everything that they need to do. They just need everybody to sit down, stay out of the way. If you were told to stay in your homes, if there is any type of local martial law, I have no idea what that looks like, if that's what it's going to be. But all I can say is follow instructions, stay inside, don't venture out, because you could also become a target for the bad guys who want to inflict damage. If they know they're backed into a corner and they're going to go down, they're going to look for any innocent target that they can possibly take out if they have nothing to lose. And
that's not typically how human beings work, right? Like, if you're in a situation where you're about to get caught by someone after you've done something, you don't immediately start mowing down random people for no reason.
Cornered, believe me, they're going to be in a position.
In fairness, these people are delusional and think they're fighting like satanic demon people, so I guess that's probably how they think, because they've created a straw man enemy in their mind that is so evil it's unbelievable.
Nothing to lose. So I implore you, everyone in any area where they're going to be operating, stay out of the way, stay safe, stay inside. Remove yourself from any potential situations that could be dangerous for you or your family. If you know of anything that begins to emerge, it looks like a lockdown in your area, reach out to your family, get them safe inside, get them home. I'm not telling you these things here because I was told to share these with you. I'm just telling you what I believe you need to do. What I can tell you that I now know, and this is from Mike Adams, that what Lynn Wood says is coming and what Lynn Wood has said is going to happen. What I said in that video that Lynn put on his Parler, and it rocketed to 4 million views. And I know folks are going to ask me, where can I see that
I wonder how his Parler account is today.
Inside the
Probably not great.
Of this video, as soon as we're done here, I'll plant it in there. I've got it on, I think Brighteon it's messed up on, but I have it in BitChute. I'll stick it down there so you can watch it. But this is real. These guys are prepared. They need zero interference from the Patriots. Listen, if anybody was needed, anybody in the Patriot civilian force was needed, believe me, they would let us know. But the only thing we can do by getting involved on any level is screw up their operations, and we cannot do that because they're prepared for what they need to do with the least amount of casualties, except on the enemy. So just please, Patriots out there, stand down. What I'm going to encourage you folks to do is take this video if you like.
Okay, so he's basically just calling for non-violence or something, which is good. I'm glad he's at least calling for non-violence in his nonsense, right? QAnon Disinformation PSYOP Exposed and Explained Part 1 by Alex Jones and Mike Adams. 16 hours ago. Yikes. What are we at? 3 hours, 21 minutes? We might call it a night. QAnon song! Yes, please.
You guys know what this represents? Maybe it's the calm before the storm. Could be the calm before the storm. We have the world's great military people in this room. I will tell you that.
Crooked bankers, Rothschilds on the run. Deep state players, we know what we've done. A light is coming in, expose your every sin. As the mainstream media lies come undone. Here's a great man that drives them all insane. And he's gonna make America great again. I really want to introduce you to my friend Q and the people of the Great Awakening. Not long ago, as we all know, the
The only thing more pathetic than MAGA rap has got to be QAnon rap.
Recorded everything we say, tracking everything we do every single day. Our privacy stolen by the deep state. They didn't hide their crimes, that's a very big mistake. They didn't think about the good guys in the NSA, because they thought that Hillary would be the president today. Here's a message to all my friends. Let me tell you about something that's happening, about a movement called the Great Awakening. The QAnon phenomenon is going mainstream. This time is coming round to use the evidence and bring them down. And we'll all just laugh as they fall and crawl, cause where we go one, we go all. Trump sentenced, he has all the proof of the crime, and it's gonna be released all in good time. But first let's drain the swamp, clean the dump, expose the lies, get the lying dirty judges out. Then we'll shine the light until there's no end, and show Obama light to get a FISA warrant. The DNC and Hillary's fight illegally on the Trump campaign and his family. That's a major crime, you see. They lost their power, they can't defend. We're witnessing the beginning of their end. These people are stupid, they can't pretend, cause they never thought that Trump would win. Now crippled and scared, and they know they're screwed, and all they have left is a bunch of fake news. It won't fix this mess, they're all out of luck, and nothing will work, you see. And it sucks. Here's a message to all my friends. Let me tell you about something that's happening, about a movement called the Great Awakening. The QAnon phenomenon is going mainstream. This time is coming round to use the evidence and bring them down. And we'll all just laugh as they fall and crawl, cause where we go one, we go all. The deep state wants to win the next election, try to take control of the House and the Senate, try to stop Trump and Q and all the decisions, but their voting bases indicate hashtag walk away. Remember now, this is just the start, cause it's all coming down like a house of cards. There's more people going down in due time, like all the dirty CEOs that resigned. They'll try to keep everyone in the dark with the use of Hollywood, Susan, Jack, and Mark to hide the fact that they're all evil and sick, child trafficking, pedophiles, Satanists. Their time is up, soon they won't even exist. Military trials, seal indictments, God's justice being served for all their sins. Their time is up, that's all, that's it. Here's a message to all my friends. Let me tell you about something that's happening, about a movement called the Great Awakening. The QAnon phenomenon is going mainstream. This time is coming round to use the evidence and bring them down. And we'll all just laugh as they fall and crawl, cause where we go one, we go all.
That's pathetic. That was bad. That was pretty bad. Let me see if there's any newer ones. You're either on or off the bus, good or evil. QAnon is 100% coming. Uh-huh. What is this? What the hell? Okay, that's whatever.
Gentlemen, we are only 40 hours away from the inauguration, and it's incredible. I was wrong, and when I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong when it's in the best interest of this nation. Q was right. Joe Biden is going to step down at noon on January 20th, and Donald John Trump is going to be inaugurated for his second term as the 45th president. Special forces, they got into the Capitol, they got into all the other areas, they got the secret laptops with all the proof, and it's over for the deep state. It's all over. Q is right. Q was not a pacification operation to suppress Trump voters to think everything was okay the last 4 years. No. Q was high-level military intelligence. That's why martial law is in D.C. That's why there's 30,000 National Guard and 1,000 regular troops. That's why there's hundreds of armored vehicles and F-16s. It's why big tech censoring us was to protect the plan. I didn't trust the plan. I was wrong. And now I have to admit I'm wrong. That's right. Joe Biden will be stepping down at 11 a.m. on the 20th of January, and Donald Trump will be sworn in for his second term as president. Q was correct. InfoWars and Alex Jones were wrong.
Thank you, President Trump! Thank you, Q!
Now, in 40-something hours, you're going to learn that Q and the globalists, the establishment, are wrong and lied to you the whole time. And I was just illustrating how anybody can put out these fake headlines and get millions of viewers telling you things that aren't true. I have talked to two people who've talked to President Trump in the last 24 hours. He's leaving to Mar-a-Lago. He's super pissed off. I even know the names of the new lawyers he's hiring to try to counter this once he's out of office. He does intend to fight on. He was a great president. The deep state did set him up.
No.
He has had the director of national intelligence declassify that communist China was behind the Wuhan virus and the fact that Crossfire Hurricane was spying on him illegally. Trump's done a lot of great things, like get our jobs back to the U.S., turn our oil and gas industry back on. But
okay, that's enough, Alex Jones. Jesus Christ. Let me do bits messages and then we'll raid someone, shall we? Pure Wayne 420, thank you for following. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. No wonder Bill Gates is so rich. He lives rent-free in so many people's heads. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits, thank you. The Boy with the Fairy with 20 bits. Handed, did you see John Doyle posted a new video yesterday? Nope, didn't see it. Steve with a Q with 100 bits. Hey Hannah, when you started doing Chudwatch and Tinfoil Tuesday, did you suspect that they would slowly merge into each other? Surprisingly, no. It's actually been pseudo-convenient for me that there's so much crossover. Makes it easier to cover both, you know. Cosmic Rocketeer with 20 bits. I'd gotten bingo as well. Oh yeah, there's another person with bingo. AshyBoo74 with 20 bits. I posted some selfies to my Snapchat story, and now a guy I was friends with 2 years ago is aggressively flirting with me, and I don't know how to feel about it. Ooh. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. He should know better if that's not something that you're into. Yikes. Lyra me, thank you for following. Midnight with 100 bits. Seems good. FQ. L is my boy. Batty Bell, thank you for gifting a sub. Andrew Patella with 20 bits. As Trump. We also undid the overpopulation of America's elders during this past year. Baja Blast, thank you for the bits. Ashy Boo with 20 bits. Dang it, the flirty dude turned out to be creepy, and he has a severe coom brain. Oh no! I'm sorry. Purple Nickel with 100 bits. Bits to make the jar explode. And Arakaria 24. All these conservatives claiming that they're being discriminated against while simultaneously being hostile to civil rights movements really gives you a window into their lack of empathy for the problems other people face. Yeah. Andrew Patella with 20 bits. Headcanon. COVID-19 isn't Marcel of the family... Oh, wait. Yeah. Isn't Marcel of the family beset? It's one of his former associates he name-dropped in his rant. Yeah, I think so. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Books contain worlds. Books are flat. Therefore, worlds are flat. Ghetto Kanye with 50 bits. My B-Day is today, and it really feels like business as usual, but I guess that's what happens during a failed U.S. government coup and other major historical events. Happy birthday! Sorry it's during a stressful time. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Pre-gaming masters, Hannah. They are pre-gaming. Zealous55, thank you for resubscribing with a 2-month streak. Thanks for keeping me sane here in Texas, although the Austin area is MAGA light for the most part. Thanks for watching. Sorry you got to deal with MAGA people. Andrew Patella with 20 bits. The Republic just died, and these people want Trump as king. Shuffle Kitty the Cat with 100 bits. Funds for Hannah's SM7B or whatever XLR mic fund. Thank you. Hot Take Coop. Thank you for following. Chaotic Star Whale with 20 bits. The Chud earlier saying they were boycotting the 20th reminded me of this quote from Welcome to Night Vale. Due to a scheduling error, Wednesday will be cancelled. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. This is this century's satanic panic. Yeah. Definitely a lot of similarities. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits. It was confirmed that Melania slept in a different room on a different floor than Trump, but I wouldn't give to be a fly in the wall during those domestic spats. Look at this dog and cat with 100 bits. I keep up with QAnoner on Facebook because I want to see what he will do. He recently accused Baked Alaska of being an Antifa Democrat because he was once supposedly an Andrew Yang supporter. H. Jor Turth, thank you for following. Beep Bop Squeet, thank you for following. Verdisastrum with 400 bits, thank you. Unique Madness, thank you for following. Spamford Bamington, thank you for following. Zuragos, thank you for following. Daddy Sumo with 20 bits. Cuck Trump, Melania deserves. Yo, nope, not reading that. You can read that in the chat if you'd like. I'm not gonna make it audible. Who will we raid? We haven't done the surfs in quite a while. I need to do squid soon too, but today we'll do the surfs. Because it's been a while since we did the surfs. I'll do squid next time squid is on and I am on at the same time. I try and move it around between people, and I think I did squid more recently than I did the surfs. So let's raid. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate all of your viewership. It's always fun to come on and share these weird things with you. Tomorrow I'll be streaming earlier so we can stream like during the inauguration and stuff. I believe that's at noon. So keep an eye out. Maybe we'll do sort of a long stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either way, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Trump's last moments in office. It'll be a good time. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe out there. Have a good night. Chat's valid as always. See you guys later.